Hello, I'm here. I'm sorry. I know you guys are hating me because I was late. We were just, oh, hold on, let me fix my audio issues. Okay, there we go. I'm sorry. We were late. We were working some things out backstage, but I'm here with some guests. We have Landon from the Crash. We have a couple other guests tonight, Kalina and Rose. And we're just going to go through some questions that we've all been wanting to ask Landon. Yes, yes, Landon from the Crash, Mackenzie, Shirla, etc. But hello, please make sure you hit the like button. We're going to remain respectful today. If you have questions, you can go ahead and drop them. If I don't miss them, then I'll try to get to them. But I pretty much already have everything I want to ask Landon. Some of it might be repetitive, but it's okay. I want everyone to hear what he has to say on my platform. And I am so grateful that Landon decided to come on here because, as I have already said publicly, I've apologized to Landon for uh, basically me bagging on the whole, okay, Rosie drove by the site, la la la. We're going to go through all of that today. So I did just want to put that out there. I know you guys have been waiting, so thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Shout out to my mods, Just Pepper, Peach, everyone that's here waiting. I'm going to bring up Landon, Kalina, and Rose. You can find them on TikTok. I will link them in the description. And we're basically, thank you, Creatively. They got the best platform being on here. Thank you. I'm trying. So you're cute. I'm cute. We're all cute. That's right. That's right. From Rosie herself. So let's welcome. Hello, Kay. I know I missed a lot of you, but I see you. I see you. Don't worry. Tracy, I saw for Ali, Asin, all my mods, Jen, Juvenated, Debbie, all of you. Thank you for being here and supporting. Shout out to all the haters too, watching on the outskirts. It might be one of those nights. It might just be one of those nights. But let's welcome Landon. I'm gonna bring Landon up first. Let me see. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome. Thank you for coming.
What's going on? How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good.
We got lots to talk about today. I'm gonna interrogate you a little bit, but
That's perfectly fine.
okay, okay. Thank you. Let me bring up Kalina. Um Here we go. We got Kalina. We got Rose. We got a full house. We got a full house. Let me see.
Hello.
Landon, I want you to be on the bigger side. Hold on. Let me see if I can move you. What the heck? Sorry. I don't really even know how to work StreamYard. Hold, please. Hold, please. Oh, there we go. We'll do it this way. How about that? Does that work for you guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get started. We're just going to hang out, talk about the case, Landon's perspective on everything, clear up some stuff, some rumors, some lies. Okay, Landon, talk to us. Let us know. Yesterday was the anniversary.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that? And how are you feeling about Kenzie's new filings with her case?
Well, for yesterday, I'd say that we did a decent amount of activities. I felt like that were in good faith and good memory for Dave and Dom. Basically, we had the whole day booked up, and it was a pretty good day overall. We didn't make it to the carnival this year, which we usually go to, because like the picture that they use everywhere on Facebook of all of us sitting in a little bubble thing was at that carnival. So we always try to make it out there, but we didn't go this year. And then it was quite a coincidence that it fell on that day. Like the fireworks fell on the 31st, which it never has. It's usually like always the 16th, 17th, 18th of the month, maybe the 20th, 21st, 22nd. But yeah, I would say yesterday went pretty well, I would say, for living it out for them, you know. And then with the new filings, I've read both of them. I feel really good about them. I feel like she has an actual like competent lawyer this time. Like it's wild. Like if you were in my shoes when we went through that first lawyer, because I was there through the juvenile courts, I was there throughout the whole court process, except when it was adult court, they were supposed to use us as a witness. Never did. So that's why we didn't attend actual court. And I felt like that was done on purpose because I would have, call me up there. Come on, like do something. Because there's just a lot of bullshit that I saw. And when I'd call out the bullshit to her original lawyer, he'd like give me some bullshit. Oh, you can't disrespect people in the courtroom. You can't call people out like that. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you even talking about? So I feel like her new lawyer team, and even the one that filed late, he was kind of a dud too, I would say. But there's a whole mess behind why it was filed late with the dates and the leap year and then the juvenile paperwork not being in the case files and all that. It's just a whole mess. So I think her new lawyer team I feel very confident about them, I would say. I feel very confident. I feel like they're a little bit more aggressive than the last one. So I feel good.
I know we've talked about this on previous, and just so everyone knows, I have talked to Landon before, and he's been on Kalina's and Rose's panel. So I'll link them in the description for everyone to go sub up and follow, etc., as well as Landon's and Rosie's, so everyone can go sub up. But there's a lot of like hate, I feel like, around this case going on, and dealing with that backlash. Like, I know back in 2022, you ended up leaving to go to college around the time the crash started, and then you ended up coming back, and now it's 4 years later, right? So there's a big time gap there that we all think we know what's going on, but we don't. So how was that when you went to college, right after the crash, and like dealing with all of that? Like, what was that experience like for you?
Well, I would say it was 9 days after the accident, exactly. It was a love and a hate at the same time, because not only like was I around new people and new like experiences and new things that could maybe get my mind off of things, but at the same time it's like you can't really get your mind off of that when it was not even a month ago. And I remember going down for like my pre-visits when I would go down there to like get my schedule and stuff, and I remember telling my coaches like because there was one visit, I think it was when it was to get my schedule. It was just to get my schedule to go view my classes, view my dorm, and that was it. And that was sometime around like before I actually went to college and after the accident happened. So within those 9 days. And when I went down there, I told them all what happened and this happened. I would have to be going back home for funerals and all that stuff. And when that time actually came, it was kind of shitty because my head coach was like, you have to pick one or the other, like the wake or the funeral. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So that's why I only had to go to both of their funerals. I couldn't go to the wakes. I only went to the funerals. And I was actually supposed to be, I think I was supposed to be one of the pallbearers in Davion's. I was supposed to carry his casket, and I think Kyle's dad ended up doing it. His neighbor's dad ended up doing it. And like my mom ended up attending and being with all of like the other friends of our football group and all of that. So it was really rough. It was really rough.
Did you just say you went to both funerals, both Davion?
Yeah. Yeah. I at Dom's actually, Dom's, we were curious to see if there's going to be pictures of Kenzie, and there was, and then he was in his Dolce & Gabbana suit, the one that he wore to prom. Like
Melly, I can't hear Landon and Kalina.
Maybe go out and come back in.
Leave the chat and then come back.
Ask her if she has to hit the pause button. Like usually like a play button.
Okay.
Sorry, Landon, go ahead.
The reason why I'm asking is because I was actually watching one of the first lives that Christine did.
Yeah.
Her big, and she says you did not go to the funeral.
No, I did. I did. I stood out there with his friends, AJ, Kyle. I can't remember if his brothers were there, but it was pretty much that whole close-knit group. They probably know who I'm talking about, and we all ended up smoking a blunt outside in the parking lot. One of them ended up actually Wu-Tanging it for Dom. Like everyone like Wu-Tang for Dom. Wu-Tang. So like I was there.
Yeah, that is so wild. Okay.
I don't know.
I just wanted to make sure that I understood that correctly.
You good, Rose?
I don't know. You guys say
Can
something.
you hear us?
Yeah.
Hello.
Can't hear nobody now. Why can't I hear nobody? I can't hear nobody now.
Oh, you
wait, no way.
Oh no.
Go out and come back in, Landon.
Oh God, it's gonna be me next.
No, that is so weird. Like, exit the live and come back in if you need to. Let me message him because he's probably like, "What the heck?"
I was like, what is Landon saying?
No,
But I didn't want to
I think
interrupt
it's
either. So
StreamYard. No, I think it's StreamYard. No, I hope it doesn't happen to Kalina.
I hope not, because I really am having a difficult time with this thing.
All right, there we go. I can hear you.
Are we
guys.
good? Okay. Oh
Yeah,
my
wait,
god.
Melly, I can't hear you.
All right, we're good.
No, are you serious?
I can hear Kalina. I can't hear Bubba or Melly.
What? You guys can hear me though, right? Like
Yeah, I can hear
Kalina
you.
and Bella.
I can hear,
I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you and Kalina.
Should I leave and come back?
Yeah.
And I can hear Rose. I can hear Rose too.
She can't hear us. That
I don't know.
sucks.
Wait, now I can't hear you guys.
Wait, stop.
Yo, what is?
Wait,
I think Christine is hacking us,
what is going on?
or Becky is hacking us, and she's the IT person supposedly. Is it me? Am I the problem because I'm not logged in?
No.
All right, I
don't
can
know
hear
what the
everybody.
I can hear everybody.
I can hear everybody.
That is crazy.
All right, I can hear everybody. All right.
I can hear everybody.
All right, we're good.
I'm scared now. I'm like,
Wait,
oh,
Kalina, say something.
Hello.
Oh, okay.
oh my god. Okay, that scared me.
Technical difficulties.
Oh my god, that is weird. Okay, back to what we were saying with so you did go to both of them. What is Landon about, you know how Kenzie was saying like she wanted to put pictures of her and Dom in the casket? Like, did you know about that? Like, what do you think about that?
I don't think I knew about that at the time. I obviously know about it now, but I would say that there was like between her and the family, like between her and the Russos, there was no, kind of, oh, you did this on purpose, kind of type deal. So I think she thought that would be okay maybe to do that, like to be with him forever, like in a technicality way, you know what I mean? So like, I don't know, like, I just think it was kind of an act of grief at the moment, an act of like it's like what like in Detective Jesus' report, right? If you go look at his report, the first visit that wasn't audio recorded, it wasn't video recorded, nothing. And he says that all they were doing were crying. That Mackenzie could barely get any words out, and that it showed complete signs of grief and complete signs of that. But then in court, it later changes. So I don't really know where that changed at, I guess.
Okay, so let's like backtrack a little bit. Like how long did you know Kenzie for? Because I know there's a lot of stuff you know this too. We've talked about this, but that like, oh, you weren't best friends with Dom and Davion, and people just taking basically credibility away from your guys' friendship. So like, how long did you know Kenzie? I know that kind of started through Rosie, because Rosie and Kenzie had just started becoming good friends, and allegedly Rosie's like the one who knows everything about Mackenzie Bentley, right? It's total bullshit. But I want you to clear some of that stuff up because we need to know.
All right, I'll just explain everybody. How about that? I'll explain how I know all three of them, right? So
yeah.
Davion, I'll start with Kenzie since you want to know Kenzie first. So Kenzie, I'm shaking.
No, you're fine.
I keep kicking my camera stand. But so with Kenzie, I had a class with her in middle school. I think it was like 8th grade. If Faith is in here and she can correct me, she may know. Well, it was either 7th or 8th grade. We took that Polaris trip. That was the grade I was in when I had a class with her and I knew her. And basically it was like every other girl in middle school, like, the way they acted and all that. And really after that class, I never talked to her again in school. I know freshman year, I remember her walking around with Dom around the hallways because he'd always be wearing like, crazy little get-ups, cool book bags that you wouldn't see other people wearing, just standing out in the crowd, both of them. And so sophomore year and junior year was COVID. So she didn't, we didn't, none of us attended sophomore year. It was like, I think a couple months in, COVID hit, then we stopped going to school. Junior year, it was every other day, or you could be online the whole entire time. I think she chose to be online, if I'm not mistaken, because I at least never saw her in school. And then senior year, I know Rosie had a class with her, but she says that she only ever saw her once or twice in that class. So I don't even know how much she attended for. That would be something I'm very interested to see, her attendance record from senior year, to see how much she attended class, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to see how much of a school bully she was, yeah. But so that was
Mean
basically
Girls.
that was basically like my whole knowing of Kenzie. But then once Rosie and Kenzie started talking, like there's a video out there of like Kenzie talking about someone doing her nails and she'll pay her and all that. That was to Rosie. That was like kind of around the time her and Rosie started talking a lot more. And then from there on is when I started coming around Kenzie and Dom a lot more. We were going over Dom's house. He came over my house. He came over Rosie's house. He was at Paul's house that night. I mean, he was in places that he's never been before, comfortable. So I don't think that's just acquaintances, you know. But I mean, I've done psychedelic drugs with him. I don't think that's just acquaintances either. But I've had one-on-one conversations with him about relationships and about things we've done in our relationships, both at Kenzie's house and at my house. I don't think that's just acquaintances. But so, yeah, I mean, I obviously knew Dom through Kenzie. I actually did buy a vape pod off of Dom back in like freshman year of high school. So that's the first time I actually had an encounter with Dom. It was a Soren Air pod. Soren Air, if anyone knows what those are. But so yeah, but that was my first interaction with Dom. And then yeah, I met Dom through Kenzie. Davion, he's always been like, I can't even tell you how long I've known him. Cause I'm known like for as long as I can remember, dude. Like third, fourth grade, fifth grade, something around those lines, is when I started hanging out with him. I mean, we created a whole entire sport in elementary school that me and him both came up with called handball, where you basically take a soccer ball and you run like a football with it. You know, you try to tackle each other, and that got banned pretty quickly. But that friendship continued through middle school. We played football together. He got really seriously injured, carried off the field in an ambulance. That was, I think, the end of his football career in middle school, basically, until he came back to high school. High school is like where, you know, those kids that you grew up playing football with, those are like your brothers now, you know?
Yeah.
And you create this kind of tight packed knit type of group, you know, and Davion was a part of that. He stayed with me for 3 months from March to May or something like that, around those lines. I had the text messages like when he moved out and stuff saying, like, thank you, Bubba. I love you for always having my back and all that. So, I mean, I have the proof that he stayed with me for that long and all that. I would go get it off the wall.
Christine said it was just like a week or a couple of days or a week.
Couple days.
No, that was Joey Probes. He stayed with Joey Probes and Tyler Proctor for a week. And then in an interview, Jamie Flanagan said that like his mom said that they were smoking and doing all these drugs and all this stuff over there, and she didn't feel comfortable having Davion around there anymore.
It's Christine in one of her podcasts and one of her live unhinged things. She literally said that Davion only stood with you for a couple days. Like
no.
Christine said.
I have multiple texts of like my mom texts me, hey, tell Dave dinner's done. Tell him to come get his food from the kitchen and all that shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no. I have texts from when he's like, I'm at school and he's like, yo, can I just take your truck? And I'm like, no, you can't just take my truck. What are you talking about? So yeah, like he stayed with me for quite a bit of time. He actually, after graduation, he ended up texting me and coming up to me and being like, can I come home with you? You want to chill for the night? You want to hang out and all that? And that friendship did carry on after we graduated. I mean, we're always hanging out with each other. I was the reason why he was being brought around Dom and Kenzie. He wasn't Dom's best friend, nowhere near close to being his best friend. It kind of surprises me a little bit that Davion was staying with Dom in a way, but I do see from like the music and all their like hobbies that they have an interest. I think that really played a big part on why he ended up staying there. Like the picture on their obituary of them in the studio, I was taken by us. I have like 2 recorded songs of them when they recorded that night. So it's like yeah, no, like we were always around them, especially the weeks and the months leading up to their passing. We were around them, you know.
So I've heard statements like, that Bubba tells people that Dom and Davion are their best friends so that you could say bad things about them to make Kenzie look innocent. Like, why do you think why are you being hated on like that? Because I personally haven't heard you trash Dom or Davion, and everyone knows I've been covering this case on top of everything, and I haven't actually heard you say anything but the truth about what was actually going on with the rugs and whatnot. Where do you think that stems from? Like, why?
I think my openness, I feel like it's always been a thought to be like hush hush when people unfortunately lose their life, you know, and not want to give out certain details, especially when it comes to family. Like if you're a family member and you don't want certain details coming out, that makes complete sense. But I'm not a family member. I'm a friend. You know, I'm Davion's best friend, and I never said. And here's another thing I want to clear up too. Never said that Dom was my best friend. I said Dom was a new and upcoming close friend. Like literally, as the weeks were going on, we were getting closer. I was knowing more about his life. He was knowing more about mine, and I'm never going to call nobody out. I'm not going to do it right now, but I will say this. There are certain people that I hope hear this live that they came up to me independently at the crash site and told me how much Dom was talking about me the weeks and months leading up to that accident, and talked about how close and how cool I was with him and stuff like that. So I don't know where all of that flipperiness came from. Maybe it's because I didn't know them for the full 4 years of their relationship. Okay. You know, it don't matter that I didn't know him 2 years ago, 3 years ago, but I know him pretty much within the most important time frame that we're looking at, the months leading up to this accident. So, yeah, I think that's where all that comes from.
Click. Sometimes people just click and they
I think honestly, if with Dom in a way, I feel like our friend group was more of an escape for him from what he is used to, from what he does go on with his daily life, like the way we would hang out, the stuff that we would watch, the things that we do for entertainment. It's not normal stuff that he would be doing, you know, from what I've heard and from all of his previous old friends and from people in his class that's been to parties with him and stuff like. So it's just, I think that was his escape in a way, you know, was our friend group, because we weren't really all about what he was into in his daily life, you know?
Yeah, I've said it before on here. I feel like you all were a safe place as a group of friends, but I also think that Dom and Kenzie were each other's safe place.
The field of business and the way that Dom lived, it's hard to close your eyes at night and not be paranoid. And I feel like around us, he didn't feel that, you know, because none of us were really in tune with that shit. We didn't really, you know, okay, maybe we got a couple blunts off him, got a little bit of weed off him, a little bit of shrooms here and there off him. So what? You know, that's about it. It's nothing. That's it. That's all it was, you know? No.
Yeah. Okay. So I know Rosie, we're going to like go a little bit all over the place, but whatever, we can do what we want. So Rosie had her social media before all of this. And I know that was a big misunderstanding. And I just want to clear that up, because I know I came on here and said like, oh, Rosie was just grifting as we were going through the text messages and whatnot. But it's like, when you actually get a look into the bigger picture of everything, it's like Rosie was already on social media.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll explain the whole timeline. So she started that YouTube in COVID. What was it? COVID-19. That's like when COVID-19, right? So 2019, 2020 is when she started it, when everybody was on quarantine. So when quarantine was, it may not have been right at the start of COVID-19, but whenever quarantine started. I remember she got it up to like 200,000 when she went to college, maybe even a little bit more before she went to college. She took a little bit of a break around the time of college. I can't give you an exact time estimate when she took a break, but then once she got back into it, once we came back from college and we moved back to up towards home, up towards the Cleveland area, she ended up starting it again, and she grew it from like 200, 300, 400,000 to 1.2 million. She had 1.2 million going into the documentary. Even when we went into filming it, she had over 1 million followers. Like, I think there might be on her TikTok when she hit 1 million followers, like a video. I'm not exactly sure. So anybody can go find when that video was. That's when she hit 1 million followers. So if you really want to do your research, you'd find it out. But people really didn't do their research. They're just kind of talking out their ass, you know?
So when people say like, oh, Rosie was just grifting, it's like, no, Rosie had already been established. And so now people say that she's grifting, but Rosie hasn't even come up and talk. And just like you've been, you're appreciated too for going up on panels and speaking and like saying your truth. But y'all haven't come on here and quote grifted or put out your own platforms. And I think that's well deserved. I think you guys were involved in this, and I think it's better from everyone to hear it from your guys' own mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel like mean, I've been on multiple panels where I'm like, I tell people to unfollow me. If they follow me because of this case, unfollow me. Like, I don't want the clout. That's what everyone's trying to tell me. That's why we were so hesitant to come on in the public eye again after the documentary. That's why she still hasn't come on the public eye, because I feel
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
Rosie hasn't come out.
No one's trying to. We could have, at any point in the last 4 years, we could have used her platform to completely be ahead of everything in this case, but we haven't. We just haven't. We've done it out of pure respect and out of morality, out of our morals. We just haven't done it. So,
Landon, just to be clear, you guys didn't get paid for Netflix,
no,
right?
no. We didn't get paid for Netflix, but I do know whoever went on the Hulu, and I think the HBO got paid because we have inquiries from maybe just the Hulu, maybe just Mean Girl Murders. I think we have an inquiry from them off of Facebook where they're like, oh, you'll be heavily compensated and all that. And we also have one of the girls that went on there with a wig and makeup and under an alias name, who was one of the girls that Dom cheated on Kenzie with. Yeah, a bunch of crazy ass backstabbing, wild shit, nasty ass shit. It's nasty as fuck. And she's going in there speaking on his name, doing that to his relationship, first of all. But yeah, we know her. She did it because she wanted a check. That's basically what we have. She just said she wanted a check, and she's sorry for that. So
this is one of my last talking points, but I'm going to bring it up now because we're on the topic of that. And even the people that say that they know Kenzie and have dated Kenzie and stuff, I've seen a lot of clout chasing, if you may. People pointing fingers in the wrong direction and not taking accountability. And it's like you and Rosie get a lot of shit for that, but it's actually other people that should be getting shit for that because
it's like everyone put their problems onto other people. Is essentially what happened in this case.
Let's talk about the night before the crash. You have said I've heard you on multiple interviews say there was no fighting. I know it's a big deal to everyone because we've all read the text messages and we think oh my God, they were so toxic. They should have been fighting in front of everyone.
Did you read them all the way up to the accident?
I've read them multiple times. Yeah.
All right. What was the last day like? What was the last day or two like?
It wasn't bad. I know everyone says.
What about the last week? Because I know Davion was living with him for about a week, and he was supposed to stay with him for about another week after the accident. And I keep telling everybody, when Davion lived with me and Rosie would have our relationship problems, he was so much of a mediator. Even if I was in the wrong, he'd be like, Landon, just shut the hell up. Just shut the hell up. You know what I mean? He was such a mediator. So I'm really interested to see how they worked that last week, because I even asked Kenzie myself how was it, and she said that it was he was he mediated. She said that he mediated everything, there was no fighting. Her and Dom were perfect. She talked about how Davion would clean up the house for him, and then that blew my mind because he never cleaned up at my house, so that blew my mind. So yeah, no, so I don't understand. That's why I'm very curious to see how their last week of text messages are.
I just feel sometimes they threaten each other to break up, but we've all been in toxic relationships before, and I'm sick of people acting like they haven't. They did threaten each other to break up, but it's when that came out, oh, he was breaking up with her, it was kind of well, was he? Because they have kind of done this, To me, after the fact now, I'm okay, well, they were together for 4 years. He trusted her, and he decided to date her. Regardless of whatever the circumstances was, obviously Don loved and cared for her.
Yeah, I'll say this, and this might move into a future point that you may talk about. I don't know, but so from what I've seen on the text messages, they threatened to break up with each other multiple times. Either have broken up with each other or haven't. Both Dom and Kenzie have, not just Dom, both of them. So they're both in that mindset of, okay, I can just walk away at any time, but we're not, right? And then the whole highway incident, that fight wasn't about a breakup. That fight was about something that we don't know the context of, and it led to her wanting to break up with him. So I don't so that whole fight wasn't them breaking up and then something happened. No, that was a whole fight out of we don't know the context to, we don't know what happened, just happened on the road. All we have is from after the fight, from when that first initial action happened, after. That's all we know. So
pertaining to that night before the crash, I know that there was 2 other people there.
Yeah,
and I
they
know
don't get questioned at all.
Okay, that's where I was going with this. I'm why didn't we see a Nina interview in the FOIA documents and etc.? Why is that?
I don't know.
Really?
No, I do not know.
I've always
I
thought that was a
know.
little suspicious.
It could be from why we didn't, from like the grapevine, but I feel like she was kind of more on like the level of Paul with like how close she was with all of them that night. Like I feel like me and Rosie were the closest out of me, Rosie, Paul, and Nina. But they still did know of them, still did know of their mindset that night of what was going on. They still know all that information. But maybe that's why they didn't really press as much. I mean, if you really look at the case files, I think they called me like 5 times. They called Proctor Moore, actually went to his doorstep, banged on his door, asking for him. Has called, and within those phone calls, they were reaching out to the mother. They've made like just as many phone calls to everybody else as they have me, but yet I'm the one that was hesitant. But yeah, I talked in October, but then the henchman, the guy that gets things done, he talked in November. So it's like
November 1st.
Yeah, I'm confused on who's talking late. Like we all talked relatively within the same months. Paul, who is it? Paul and I think Dom's mom were the only ones that went in weeks after.
Wait, but I have a question, like, because I've questioned this before on my previous lives. It's like, where does Tyler fit into this? Tyler Proctor, because he was Kenzie's ex, but then he was a friend of the
He
group
dated her for a week.
Yeah, and then he was
serious.
like still hanging out with the group.
And he's not related to. I don't think he's related to Dom by God. I don't know what the hell that means, but
yeah, I don't know what that means either.
I don't know what that means whatsoever. But what I could say is I don't really want to go too deep on his relevance.
But why was he? Yeah, like
he was doing favors. I'll say that he was doing favors because he got put into a spot that he should have never gotten put into, and Dom believed that he should have never gotten put into that spot. In my opinion, that's all I'll say about that.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm like, how does this character play such a big role? Because we've never heard about him in many times. And
I have text messages. I have text messages in my phone between me and Dave, where like Dave used to bring home little 3.5s of weed from Tyler Proctor and all that, and he used to be on this little time game type stuff. And then, from what I've seen, right after Dom died, he kind of got this huge boost. I would say like a couple hundred people into a Telegram. You know what I mean? Just a big boost. Got a little nudge. You got a little, I'll pull strings for you. You'll pull strings for me, in type of a way. And I have pictures of his Telegram. I have pictures of some of the contents of his Telegram. Like, I'm not dumb. You know what I mean? Like, I kept from day one, I've been screenshotting this shit because I knew this shit was gonna come one day or one way or another.
Yeah, that is actually one of my talking points that I wanted to ask you, because people are curious. I do read through my comments and my live streams, and I've gone on other live streams and talked about this case, but it's like, how does like Hench fit in? Because we know he was living in the basement.
He's Christine Russo's client, if I'm not mistaken. I thought I saw somewhere that she busted him out of jail to do that or something.
Yeah. She bonded him out
$900.
Yeah, bonded him out to do that. And then same with the video off of Dom's phone, apparently, of her being locked outside the house. That was off of another client's phone.
Yeah, William.
Another lawyer client's phone. It's weird to me. It's weird.
Very weird.
Conflict of interest, if you ask me. But
I say it's unethical. I
smell something in the air.
I don't know how some certain quote witnesses were able to be witnesses in this case, because.
But then we weren't.
Yeah.
Then the 4 people that saw them for the last 6 hours of their lives weren't. Okay.
And I
Let's make that
know.
make sense.
I know that you're gonna play something for us tonight, but like I know the Netflix documentary made it seem like you and Rosie didn't want to participate, and I did actually bring that up a lot, but that's actually not exactly how it was.
No,
with the investigation.
Well, yeah, no. So what happened? I mean, do you want me to explain it? I guess I'll explain it out. So what had happened was, we had all had our interviews. I think Rosie actually. She had to reschedule her interview, and it happened to be on the day of Paul's. So she had her interview the day of Paul's. I was going to do my interview after hers. Nina was going to do hers after her, or whatever the case was, right? We all had interviews scheduled. That's all that matters. And Paul came out of his interview, told us the contents of what was in his interview, and I can play the video here in a second of what those contents were. But after he got out of there, we were like, we really feel like this has nothing to do with the crash whatsoever. And I don't want to go in there and talk. And that's why Rosie had her dad call them back and say, hey, she doesn't feel comfortable coming in here to talk. Because we just felt like if they're even asking about this type of information, they're not really investigating the crash, because we know what was there that night. We know what happened. Like, with like their mindsets and how everybody was and what mindsets they were when they left, and if there was weird things involved like guns and crazy shit like that, like we would know if that's involved and it's not. And so it's just weird that they were investigating that, and that's essentially why we didn't talk. But I'll play that for you right now.
Yes, Bubba's gonna play a clip from Rosie. This is a Netflix one, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
So this one is Paul's interview. I'll play the Netflix one.
Okay. Okay.
This, I guess, plays into a part of the Netflix.
Okay.
So let me know if you guys can hear this.
Have you, in general, not just that night, any night, seen stories or snaps or TikToks of Kenzie and or Dom using drugs? Yeah. Her and Dom don't seem to hide their drug use very much. They're pretty open. So if they were using cocaine, you would see that.
The fuck?
Have you seen that? No. Have you did shrooms only one time?
Yes.
Were they around when you did them?
Were they around? Yes.
They were. Did you get them from them?
From Dom, yes.
From Dom. Dom's handed them directly to you. You're probably right now in the back of your mind thinking, I'm worried about getting people in trouble. You're not. Not a worry of yours.
It's gotta happen. That's what Dom and Davey on board.
So you're not.
To come in.
Okay. So you're not protecting Kenzie by saying you're not sure.
There's no protection.
Okay.
Whatever trouble she's in, she's in it.
So, do you know where did Dom or Kenzie ever talk about where the shrooms came from?
No, they would never. That was never top secret information.
Had you ever been at his house?
I have, yes.
You have. So you know his brother Chris?
I don't know his brother.
Don't know his brother. Okay. Okay.
Did you ever see him with a gun? I know he had one. I never saw him. Right.
We know there's a connection to a gun. Okay, and my question is, that night, did anything about a gun come out?
No, I would be calling you. I would be the second.
And, you guys have a backyard? Okay, it's like a garden type area. Anything new? Does it look like maybe somebody hid something in there, gun-wise? Who does yard work at home?
We have someone I call him lawn care.
Lawn care?
Oh, hi Tyler, does he lawn care?
Okay. Yeah, do me a favor. When you go home, just kind of look through your garden. Just
Rule it out. Dirt, overturned dirt, or mulch.
We're asking questions because we know something that we can't tell you. And so just as a favor, just kind of look through it.
Okay.
If you don't find anything, you don't even need to call. Some possible drugs that came up in the text messages. Do you use drugs?
We did something.
Okay. What about shrooms?
We discussed that, but we did not do that night.
Okay. Did you know if Mackenzie had any kind of drugs on her or Dominic that they brought to your house?
Dom did. Dom definitely did.
Okay. Do you know what?
I do not know.
Okay. How do you know that he did?
I just know that that's who Dom is, and I know he would keep that with him.
Did you see anything? Did you smell anything?
No, I would not want them to stink up my house.
Okay, I got you.
Had a relationship, a friend relationship. Was it ever more than that?
Yeah, so that's basically Paul's interview, and he came out telling us all of those contents, and that's exactly why we didn't go in there and talk.
I always wondered why there was what's up with the ammo that was found in the car?
I don't know. I mean, I know that from my old truck when I cleaned it out that I found like a few bullets that I've dropped, but it's because I've gone down to my buddy's house down south and towards like Mohican, if anyone knows where that's at, and I've gone shooting down there. So like there's potential chance, like if you go shooting and do things like that, but I don't know. Like in Dom's case, in Dom's like background, it was like him and referencing him, I would think it's more of just like because he has a gun on him or something. I don't know. Or maybe he like left them under there, forgot about it.
Yeah, because it was a whole box, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. It wasn't in a box, or it was?
I thought it was a whole box of.
If it was a whole box, then yeah, it probably was something maybe like left under there, forgotten about, that they bought and he forgot about, or slipped out the bag or some stupid shit like that.
And just
Yeah.
to clarify,
I remember in Steve,
interview for the crash. They were interviewing for the crash.
No, that one was the police with Paul.
That was the
Paul. Yeah, the detectives with Paul.
They were supposedly questioning him. It was supposed to be about the crash.
Yeah, it was supposed to be about the accident. Yes.
But to me, it sounds like this is just my opinion. It sounds like they're investigating something completely different.
Yes.
Yeah. They also say in his interview, right? Like, I don't know exactly when his interview was. I don't have a date for that, but if anyone can get that, that'd be lovely. But whatever the date was of his interview, the detectives are already saying that it seems like Kenzie doesn't care. But then in his report, the first visit he went to, she's like bawling her eyes out, can't even get a word out, and like is showing signs of remorse and grief and all that shit. So I don't really know where that switched. Like I said, I don't know where that switched up at in that short amount of days. You know what I mean? I don't really know.
But there was clearly a drug investigation going on, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about a drug investigation, here is a voice message from a DEA agent to Rosie that he left.
Okay.
This message is for Rosie Graham. This is Task Force Officer Jason Glover with the DEA in Cleveland, Ohio. We're calling to...
Glover's dirty, I feel like.
Your name came up in a drug trafficking investigation I'm currently working. If you could give me a call back, my cell phone number is 21.
I don't really want to give the phone number out there. I don't know if you can arrest me for that.
Interesting. Okay, so that kind of makes sense when Rosie talks in the Netflix documentary when she says, oh, this is a drug. I feel like you've already mentioned this before. There's so much context left out. There's scenes left out. You and Rosie filmed so much more than what we've seen. But when Rosie goes on and says like, oh, they were just looking for someone to charge with a drug trafficking, like we didn't connect the dots until after the fact. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, that's what's shitty because when we recorded with them, like, so me personally, I did about, I would say 15 to 16 hours worth of footage. I did at the scenes that you guys see in the documentary, me in the garage, that was from 8 a.m. to about like 7 p.m. at night. The next, like the Wednesday after that or something, maybe the next day even, I had to go to the high school. They even get permission from like the athletic directors and stuff to go in the weight room. I had to go do that because like I'm cool with them because I know them for 4 years. So I went in there, got permission for us to film in the school or like in the athletic department and all that shit. And we did like they filmed me doing a whole football workout with an interview in the weight room. And then we went out onto the field with a football and like had scenes of me throwing around a football. And I don't really know where all that went, but
so they basically dropped the investigation when this crash happened and decided to charge Kenzie with possessing and all of this because what else were they going to do, right?
And then like the whole like them breaking and entering into that church, like what does that have to do with anything?
I just wanted to say something. The interview was August 11th with Paul.
Yeah.
Just so you know, you asked to look for it.
So July 31st and August 11th, somewhere in that what 11-day time frame, he changed. Mm-hmm. Okay, he saw her being remorseful and grieving, and now she's not being remorseful and grieving. So yeah, I don't know.
And on August 8th is when he called the Metro Health for the blood work, and they couldn't find it, and he was already upset that they couldn't find it. Like,
yeah, he said this whole case is going to crumble. Like his words directly is this whole case is going to crumble.
She's going to get away. She's going to get off.
And another thing they don't talk about is in Davion's phone at 12 p.m. that night. I said 12 a.m. on a live not too long ago. I meant to say 12 p.m. 12 p.m. Davion's phone was recorded searching up how long does it take acid to kick in. And I have never, like I said, they never took acid around me. I feel like I would have been able to tell that they took acid around me. I mean, I feel like it's a very powerful substance to be off of. There's no way you wouldn't be able to tell. So, yeah, I mean, and if they took it at 12 p.m. or took it relatively around 12 p.m., if he's looking up how long it take to kick in, they would still be on it when she was found by paramedics if they were on that. You know what I mean? Which they didn't see nothing. So, like I said, I don't think that they were on that whatsoever. But it's just another weird thing that, like, Davion's phone was looking that up, but then they botched the whole blood work. You know, they completely fucked up the whole blood work about it.
Yeah, so you've mentioned that you didn't see them fighting that night and you didn't see them doing anything other than whatever you guys are doing. I think smoking weed.
Yeah, so I mean, not even only us though. If you go back and you look at the zoo videos of them at the zoo, you can hear them in the background. There's no like animosity. There's no fighting. Kelly Raha, who saw them before us, no fighting, no animosity, nothing. All of us that were there that night, no fighting, nothing of those sorts. So
because to me it was like if they were fighting or something was going on, because all of this was found on Kenzie's person, right? And I was always confused about that because I'm thinking, why would Kenzie have that on her person? She was always pretty blunt and straight up about what she was doing, I feel like. But then I'm thinking, if they were fighting, why would Dom ask, like, why would she have the substances on her? Because I feel like if they left the house fighting, why would she accommodate that? Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
if she, I mean, that not only that, but if they left the house fighting, why wouldn't Davion just came home with me?
exactly.
Like, and like for whoever's out there saying like, oh, he wanted to make sure that they were. I mean, he don't give a fuck. He don't give a fuck if they was fighting or not. He don't want to deal with that shit. You know what I mean? He don't want to deal with it. Like y'all don't know Davion. You can't speak about how Davion would feel in that situation. I can because I know Davion, and I know he would not want to sit around hearing them nap at each other. He'd end up coming home with me. So that's like honestly, that's my biggest point on why I don't think they were fighting. Is because simply Davion was in that car. And nobody else can answer, and nobody else can like attest to that. And the only way they can is the prosecutor who said that he was just cargo. He was just cargo. He was worthless. He was just cargo, which is like disrespectful as shit. And it's crazy that like the families just sat there and let that been said in court about your own fucking son. That's disgusting. It's disgusting.
It set the narrative too. Like
Yeah,
everyone now refers to that, like, oh, Davion was just cargo. And it's like, actually, no one said that except Tim True.
Yeah,
like,
it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting because now it's like all over the place. It's crazy.
But I mean, like on all accounts, though, it seems like they didn't fight in front of people. Like their fights were kept private.
No.
So to like say that they were fighting in front of Davion, it doesn't make sense because you got everybody saying that.
Rosie, Nina, Paul, Blair, all the people that were investigated, never seen them fight. Like, what's going on here? I thought Blair was Dom's best friend for the last 5 years. Been with him all throughout the relationship. Can't tell you one time that they were fighting. Can't tell you one time she was acting crazy.
Yeah.
Wild as shit. All he can do is make a TikTok video saying I'm some demon hungry clout chaser, bro. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
So let's go back to Rosie. When others have said that, oh, Rosie didn't help, Rosie this. So Rosie's gotten a lot of shit for it, honestly. And I don't think it's right. But you have proof that Rosie did actually talk.
Yeah. So this video I'm going to play right now is a video from when the producers of the documentary, maybe the executive producer. No, it was like the producer and then like the assistant producer, not the executive. But so at first we were all promised to be showed it, just like the families were. We were not showed it. On top of that, we were also told that it was supposed to be a 3-part episode. The first part pertaining all of us and like the whole night of and the summer leading up and mine and Davion's relationship and all of that. That's why they filmed all of that working out and all that stuff, right? And then the second episode was going to be trial, going to be the prosecution, going to be the families. Third episode was going to be Kenzie and her family. That completely got scrapped and went down to like what, hour and 20-minute documentary. Yeah. So this was a recorded phone call that we recorded when they were walking us through beat by beat of the film. And we were pointing out things that we had a problem with. One of them was being the way that the prosecutor said she didn't talk. And the other one, the only 2 problems we had was the prosecutor and then them using her social media the way they did. And we also have text messages. She posted that like the day of it, like dropping that. We had text messages with the documentary company talking about how we don't want the social media in there to either create a mock-up or don't keep it in there at all. And they were like, okay, we'll do that. Great. Didn't do that. Just completely went against that. But here's that.
I just think Rosie got so much shit and negative backlash than she should have.
They used her name because it's Netflix. That's all it is. She has 1.2 million followers on YouTube. Oh my God, let's hopefully get that whole entire fan base. That's a guaranteed 1 million views, you know, like stupid. But here's this video.
Also, with the prosecutor saying that he's like super interested in hearing what I'm saying, did you include that I spoke to him on the phone?
No, we didn't, because that was so much later, wasn't it? That you spoke to him. That was right before the trial.
Well, there really wouldn't have been any other time for me to speak to him because it would have been the detectives instead of him. Up until the trial where the prosecutor came in. So him saying that he really wanted to talk to me, I did talk to him like... Before the trial.
Before the trial.
Yeah.
No, we were. I mean, I guess he's talking. From the. It would be the detectives, and he would have.
Okay.
Wanted to know.
Yeah.
What through them, what you were going to say.
Right.
Not be.
But actually,
I don't think he was making any calls himself.
I think we actually missed your explanation that you provided in that bit, Rosie, actually, because I think that is quite important. You do explain your hesitation speaking to the police at these days, because you let me just quickly find. Do you know that I'm talking about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. People always say the police will try to say crazy things, especially if you're alone and you're a teenager. It doesn't seem like they're trying to figure out what happened in the accident. It seems like they were trying to track down the next drug dealers. Which I think is...
All right, so for anyone that just listened to that, that is the pure definition of blowing smoke up one another's ass. That is the pure definition of that.
So Rosie talked to the prosecutor. She wanted that to be included in the Netflix documentary, but they refused to show that part.
Yep, and
it makes Rosie look dirty. But
yeah, we also requested not to have her social media, nor her tag, nor her tag name. Why my name Bubba and not Landon Turner? Like, why is her name Rosie Graham the only full name in the entire documentary that's talking? It's wild. It's crazy. It's because she has that name on social media, and they did that on purpose.
That blows my mind that they left that out and made it seem like she didn't want to.
There was so much valuable information.
Go ahead, Rose.
Talked about so much valuable information.
Well, it's wild that they let him say, "Oh, she never talked to me. I'm curious to see what she has to say." Like, why did they allow that in?
Yeah. Because it helped with the narrative.
And why would he even say that? He's misleading people.
Wow.
Sounds like somebody got it to be edited.
Well, we know you didn't have the editing power. So.
Yeah, no, but that's the only explanation, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it showed the real side of shit. It showed down to the bare emotions of it, the bare core of it. Our interviews,
because
Rosie's over there sobbing in her interview, basically, like shit's crazy. We were really vulnerable at that time. And then they just came in out of nowhere. But then also before it came out, the documentary was coming out to us, reaching out to us, saying if we could get into contact with any of the Russos because none of them want to talk in the Dom's favor. That basically the documentary is complete, but nobody's talking for Dom in Dom's defense. So it's once they did get to talk, the whole fucking thing just got completely messed up. Completely.
It brings me back to Rosie driving by the scene. Because we know that was in one of the documents, but we know who was the source, right? And I've been saying this on my channel. Personally, my opinion only is I don't think Hench or Houston are reliable, credible sources.
No.
So why did Houston
didn't know Dom and Kenzie, at least at that. Houston did not know Dom and Kenzie. I know Davion, but did not know Dom and Kenzie. I can tell you that much. I mean, I don't think Houston wants me to tell him my Dom's opinion on him. I don't think he wants me to do that. I won't do that. But
that's actually crazy because he acts like he was so involved and was the first to go
that's wild.
Was the first to go say that Rosie drove by.
He was mad. Houston was mad that the Flanagans didn't come home for as long as they did, and he was going out there reaching out to churches to set up Davion's funeral. And I'm like, you can't do that, bro. I'm like, you're not a family member. I didn't even bat an eye to think to do that. You can't do that. You know what I mean? That's not something that it's just weird. It's very weird.
Well, even in the Christine Russo interview, they're going on about how, he's not reliable. He's too emotional.
He's exiled from the families, from what I heard. He was on too much bullshit. They don't talk to him no more. That's at least what Divine told me when I last talked to her. So.
How explain the Rosie driving by the scene? It's in the police report, but we know it wasn't actually close to the scene. I don't know the area, but you do.
So where that comes from is basically, after the accident, where it happened at, right there at Progress and Alameda, right at the curb. We actually got yelled at because it was in the street. We had to move it in the grass. But right there in the grass, we had a whole, memorial set up. Bunch of candles, pictures, flowers, bunch of stones, bunch of different things. And there'd be large groups of us that would sit out there all night, just sharing stories, all vibing, talking. That was actually one of the times that we in the police files you'd see it where we heard Tyler Proctor and this other kid Anthony talking about like when Kenzie gets out of the hospital, they're gonna beat the shit out of her and like they're gonna stab all of her parents' tires to her car and all that crazy shit, like wild shit. And that's where it was at like one of those memorial times where that came from. And so I remember Rosie was telling a story one time of how she didn't drop me off. Let's clear that out there. She did not drop me off. Me and her drove separate. And the reason why we drove separate is because we came home from the Outer Banks, switching on and off driving, sleeping, switching on. It's like a 13-hour drive. Drove back. Once we got home, she dropped me off at my house. I dropped all my luggage off, all my stuff off, got in my truck, drove to Paul's. She used to live like a minute down the road from Paul's. So she drove home, dropped her stuff off at home, and then went over to Paul's. I met her at Paul's in my truck. She was in her own car. When we left that morning, we left in separate cars. We took Whitney Road down. So if you look at that, they took Pearl. There's Pearl Road. There's Whitney that goes on to West 130th, or you can take West 130th the whole way, but you can take Webster as a cut through. But it's those two routes are the only routes to get from one side of Strongsville to the other without going through development or without taking the highway. Those are the only two main actual roads. Pearl being the very main one. The police department's off it. Hundreds and hundreds of stores and businesses are off it. The multiple schools are off of it. So she ended up going back to my house. My mom and my sister had caught COVID when we were at the Outer Banks. So when she got to my house, she was like, "Oh, should I go inside? Should we hang out? Actually, do I want to run the risk of getting COVID? I haven't gotten it yet." Okay. Right. So she turned around, went home, took Pearl Road home all the way home, and how she had to turn right onto Whitney, just like that route says, turn right onto Whitney, and she went home. And during that drive on the way home, she was thinking about how in a couple weeks we're all gonna have to go to college. This friend group that we've made, all these memories we've made are all gonna have to kind of be put on pause, and it might have to restart when we go to college. And she was just crying, and she was also seeing the sunset and all that shit, just crying about all these memories. And that was just a story she was telling. And I guess that got misworded, mistranscribed, or at least flipped on purpose at some point. I don't know. When going into police, saying that she just drove past, not saying that she drove past the accident, just saying she drove past. Which, it's just pretty wild. And I mean, let me tell you now, the car that did drive past 3 minutes after, the police 100% know who that is. There's no doubt in my mind. I mean, they have the video footage of her car pulling on that road, so they have the video footage of that car pulling on that road. I don't care about no AI enhanced bullshit. All right, I want to know what actual car that was and who was in it. I know the police know, and they're just letting that be this big conspiracy theory being ran with. It's crazy.
That's interesting you say that, because I've wondered about those cars that drove around after that questionable. So you mentioned that Kenzie's lawyer told Rosie not to testify in court.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that.
She wanted to testify, and he said that it wouldn't be smart because they were going to try and charge her with being involved in drug trafficking, which is weird because, I mean, there's only 5 times in their phone where she's asking for weed. And one of them's Kenzie, I'm going to bring a blunt. So it's I don't really know how that's drug trafficking. Just typical, all right, we're about to hang out and smoke. All right, we're about to hang out and do this.
I just don't think they were
interested at straws because they have nothing else to get,
I just don't think they were interested in weed and mushrooms. Okay, it's not there's a big factory of them going on. You know what I'm saying? I think there's definitely much more to that investigation than we think.
Mm-hmm. More than what we're being told, at least.
Exactly. She was not subpoenaed either, was she, Rosie? You, Rosie?
Not that we're aware of, no.
I already asked you about Houston's role in all of this and who he was actually friends with.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that if anyone, it would be Davion. But I do also have a few little things about him, the fact that they were at multiple jobs, but then every single time Davion came up to me and said Houston was the reason why he was fired. every single time. All 3 of the jobs that they're at together, Chipotle, Five Guys, and Papa John's. So, and I think Papa John's, Houston was his manager, so he had to fucking fire him. So like, I don't understand. Yeah, you saying I'm lying about that? So yeah.
But he says they were friends, but then got him fired from his job. I don't get it. Like, what
Me
was?
Me neither.
What about the 4th person? You know how they allegedly some of us thought there was a 4th person involved in this.
I mean, if they were in the trunk, they'd be dead from just the force of impact. If they were in a seatbelt engaged, it would say that they're in a seatbelt engaged in the EDR data. If somebody went up to the car after the accident, and they like just don't want to put that out as public knowledge, and they investigated it, looking at how we're treated in this investigation, I think if it was us, they'd come get our ass as soon as possible. You know what I mean? That's just common sense. Like, they obviously didn't like us in this investigation and like didn't like how we were cooperating. So if it just like miraculously came about that we came up to a car after the fucking crashed and took this shit out, you don't think they're gonna come after us? Like, if it was anybody, it's somebody that they're protecting. So
yeah, I really think that they would, just like you said, as the way they're treating you guys, like they would be happy to like,
and not only that, I wouldn't be sitting here on a live. I mean, I wouldn't be sitting here on a live advocating for her to get a fair trial, for her to get this shit back to retrial. If somehow, shape, way, or form, me and Rosie are going to be some form of accomplices or criminally involved in some way, shape, or form, it just does not make sense. Why would I be doing this? I'd be hush hush, not one to talk.
Because if you truly believed she did it, it's like you were also, Davion was like your brother. I've seen the stuff that you have in your bedroom of him. I've seen all of that. And I believe it. But if you actually believe she did this intentionally, like obviously it would be different, right? But you don't. You don't believe.
I mean, I have his sunglasses that he was asking back for over text message. I have his sunglasses in my truck. I keep his sunglasses in my truck with me all the time. I keep something of Davion. I have Davion's vape from that night. I have his jersey, and that in that room, I have something from Davion in every single room. So it's, yeah, I mean, I don't know why they're trying to attack me in that way. And then, like, I heard that Davion's sister said that, like, she doesn't even know me and she's never heard of me. But it's like, I've had multiple conversations with her. I've had conversations with her parents. I've been in their home. They've been over to my home. So I don't really know why I don't care what the excuse is. I don't care if the excuse is we should not be lying. We should not be lying. I don't care if I know what Davion ate for breakfast that morning and you try to come out and say that he ate something else and call me a liar. I don't care if it's as simple as that. Just as simple as that, you should not be lying at all in this case.
That's upsetting, because if they know that you were friends with him and they make it seem like you weren't for whatever reason, that was on my list actually to bring up. What has that created animosity with you and the Flanagans? I know they don't speak out as much as the other side of the family does, and I've wondered about that.
I wouldn't say animosity. I would just say hurt. Just because I know how both of these family dynamics are in a way. And I know that they were just left out of a lot of information. Or maybe they do know all this information. They just still don't give a fuck. I don't know. At the end of the day, I truly don't know. But I felt like I could give them comforting answers and answer questions that they would want me to answer. And I went over there as soon as they got home, was open with them, told them that alcohol is not going to be in the drug test. None of that's going to be in there. It's like we weren't drinking that night. We weren't doing that shit that night. At least to my knowledge, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be in there. And so we had that conversation. I went home. They texted me the next day, hey, we need all that stuff back. I came and gave it back to them willingly. And after that, the next thing that happened was there was a court order saying that anyone that sits on Kenzie's side can't talk to anybody on the victim's side.
Why
so, yeah.
Why? I just don't understand. Like, why are they so adamant? Like it's just not a possibility that she had a medical emergency. It's just absolutely not possible.
I mean, maybe that's what they think it is. Maybe they think it like something like that happened and they just don't care. They just don't care. I mean, I've came to that conclusion that like being in the Russo spot and being in the Flanagan spot, what reason do I have to keep her around, you know? That's kind of how I've looked at it in their eyes. Like maybe they just don't care that much that their kids are gone and they just don't care, you know? That's all that matters at the end of the day. I feel like that's the best I could put myself in their shoes, though, you know?
And I'm not trying to bag on the Flanagans here per se, but like, is it actually true that they didn't come home for about a week?
Yeah, no, they didn't come over for sure for a week because Dom's funeral was within that week. They weren't home when Dom had his funeral. They had their funeral like the week after, 2 weeks after.
Does anyone else think that's odd? Like, respectfully,
I do.
And like, I don't know. I'll say
Rose?
this is like a very vulnerable moment and a very like crazy thing, which is like at their funeral, bro. Like probably the worst time you'll ever see me was at his funeral, and both of them parents were hugging me and like comforting me, and like his sister, same thing. Just for it all to end up like this, for them to like be lying on my name, lying on who my credibility is with them and stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I'm sorry, that's terrible. In another interview, I heard you say something like, because I reviewed your interview with somebody else that you did, and you were saying something about like how, yeah, you were friends with Kenzie, but like you weren't as close to her, but you essentially do care about Mackenzie, right? Like, I think you
Yeah,
said
like
something
so.
like,
What I've always said, I've said this to her family. I'm going to try to come off as much like nowhere near as harsh as I have in the past because I have came off a lot harsh about this. Is like when this accident happened, right? Just the thought and the knowledge of my two friends passing in this accident, like how much that was weighing on me, like whatever else happened, I wouldn't have cared. Like if, something happened to Kenzie in the hospital later on, succumbed to injuries, something like that, my brain was so fixated on both of the boys. And now over time of trying to advocate for the truth and get a fair trial, we have became like, not family, but we have became, close in a way. I know a lot about her. I know a lot about the relationship. I know a lot about the family, and whatnot. And so that's why, after knowing more though too, is why I'm even more adamant of doing what I'm doing, because it seems like a lot of the families involved are pushing their own problems onto this family, and they know that, but it's guilt, there's nothing you can do about it.
would you do another documentary? I know you've answered this before, but if you
not with any of the families in it.
You didn't have any editing power, but I heard some
Nope.
others did.
Yeah. We were supposed to be showed it, never was showed it, and I know now. I know perfectly well now why we weren't showed it. Sounds a lot better when they just are like talking it to you versus actually showing it to you up front with all the B film and the B roll and all the crazy shit,
But also, they told you it's supposed to be 3 parts.
Yep, that's
and it only ended up being 1 episode, so that's real.
Yep, and I think there's a lot of the wholesome moments, a lot of the actual real shit got cut out into like just like the most basic, plain thing it could be,
They left out a bunch of scenes, so they just have all that editing footage. They have it all. So if they wanted to do a part 2 and they reached out to you, you would be like, absolutely the fuck not.
I mean, if they let me have all of the editing power for it, or at least a big of it, you give me like 45-50% editing power, okay,
Yeah, they did y'all dirty.
It seems like that's what the other people got at the first part. Like, what the fuck? They edited out all of that shit, dude. It's wild.
It painted you and Rosie in a bad light, and others as Faith as well. But it's
it painted us like airheads, like all of us friends. It painted us like we're a bunch of airheads. You know what I mean? We're really not. Like there was detailed, valuable, like debunking responses we had. They just completely took them out, made us look like airheads. Kept the part in where it's just like, oh, you guys think she's Jeffrey Dahmer. Like there's a much broader, much longer response. That's just the very end of it, and they just completely cut out the beginning part and just kept that.
What would you say is one thing that they left out that you wish was included? Like something, even if it's just you and Davion's friendship, like what is one thing you wish, or even maybe
probably,
you and Rosie
probably like the explanations on our friendships and the proof and the pictures that we provided of like prom leading all the way up to the accident. From like prom was like in like May, maybe the month before May, all the way leading up to the accident. So it's like, I don't know. I felt like that could have been some valuable information that could have like not have caused a lot of the bullshit that's been caused, and at least feed a lot of the bullshit that some people have been talking.
Why do you think those people are talking so much on you? Like, what did you even do? Because I don't.
Especially not knowing me. Like, I did not even, like, the people that are talking on me, I'm not going to name names. Sorry, didn't even know of your existence. Like, when Dom was around, never mentioned nothing at all. Never knew that motherfucker existed. But, like, yeah, so, like, it's crazy that they're talking on my name. I don't know why. I think it's just to knock my credibility, because I think me and the people that were actually saw them in their last living hours means something in this case, and means something a lot. And they're just trying to make it seem like it doesn't mean anything, and it's just like whatever, you know.
And they just don't want anyone sticking up for Kenzie or speaking.
No, they don't want nothing speaking out against any of the inconsistencies, any of the bad investigation work. None of that. They don't want people speaking out about any of that. All I'll say is whoever's watching this, at least at the bare minimum, go read through Detective Hazoo's report. His report from day one all the way up to charging. And tell me if he really did a damn thing. Tell me if he did a damn thing. Tell me what he found that caused him to do a damn thing, because I didn't see nothing. I didn't see nothing.
Yeah, I've been vocal about Hazoo on here. I said he's shady, and I stand by that.
It's his first detective case. It's his first case as a detective. He was literally using templates for search warrants because he didn't know how to type them out. Didn't know how to do any of that.
And I don't know how deep you've gone into it, but there's a FOIA that shows a lot of police incidents and with the Russos, and Detective Hazoo was in some of those. So I would say that's also a conflict.
I know Galasky was too.
Yeah.
It's very weird. Galasky acted like he didn't know who Dom was on scene, but knew who Dom was, but then just acted like everyone. Strongsville Police Department, if you go look at that full body cam and you go look at the everything that was done on scene, it was atrocious. SPD was atrocious. So, I mean, it's just wild. It's wild. And that's exactly the reason why we call for a complete reinvestigation, retrial, all of it. Like, you're telling me, you go into any Google, go into any search engine, any AI, look up if a car is found with 100% acceleration and it was involved in a crash, what are the theories that detectives go off of? Number one, it's intoxication. Number two, it's a medical episode. Number three, it's intent. It's intentional. They skipped over the first two. They botched the first one. They botched the intoxication, and then they just completely skipped over the medical. They didn't want nothing to do with that. Straight to the intentional. It's crazy. And I mean, being a 17-year-old girl who's going through probably one of the most crazy, like, changing time periods of your life, from becoming a teenager to an adult, living with another adult, being around another bunch of adults, all sorts of this, like, they use that to their advantage. A reckless teenager, they use it to their advantage. And another thing that they use to their advantage, which is sick, it's sick as hell, is their relationship. Because Dom's not here to talk about it. Dom's not here to give his explanation on none of this shit. Because if you really look at these text messages, you'd really see that a lot of this shit happens from off a text message. It happens from on the phone. It happens from something that happened in person. And then she walks away and texts him, and they start fighting over the phone. Or they're in the same fucking room. They're in the same room with other people, and they're texting, fighting over the phone. We never really get the fullest context to every single instant. And it's like, the one person that could give us context isn't here anymore, and they use that to their advantage. They played that to their advantage.
And the other one is locked up, making her out to be a demon, you know?
Yeah, and also she was guided by her lawyer not to talk and not to give a statement, and to not to give a statement in court. So not to talk over the phone. So all those people, oh my God, they don't want to talk over the phone. That's all advice given directly from the lawyer.
What do you think? What is your opinion that happened in that car? Like, what do you think? Because people are saying like, oh, well, she's the one who drove into the building. It's like, we know that. Like, Kenzie's already, I think, taken accountability for the fact that she was a driver, but she said she's heavy on the no intent, right? Yeah. She said it in the Netflix documentary. And I know people are just, and I used to be one of them, respectfully. Yeah. But I feel like I've seen a lot more than I have come on here and shared, but that's for many other reasons besides the point. Anyways, what do you think happened?
I'll tell you what I think happened. After 4 years of dwelling on this, sitting here thinking about this, like, literally not a day goes by where we probably don't talk about it with somebody. either at work, with Rosie, with my parents. I truly, truly believe, and this is the best of my capability, and I'll give you the evidence afterwards, all right? I think they turned down that road. The first 5.6 miles is a straightaway. Shit, my barber used to work on that road. He confirmed it when I went and got my hair cut the other day. Yeah, first 0.6 miles of that road is a straightaway. And then there's a slight S at the bottom. I think she did, in fact, have a seizure. And if she did, it would cause you to tense up. And things that are found are straightaway driving paths and 100% acceleration when that happens behind the wheel. Not everyone can say, oh, no, it doesn't happen, because you don't know. You seize out in different ways. And I know there is a friend who switched sides because of the clout and the drama, who has seen her seize out and tense up before, and is actually on a witness list, I think somewhere, or was supposed to be on a witness list, or we have the text message where she agreed to being a witness. So yes, like this is a normal thing. Not only in the text messages do you see them talking about it weeks, months leading up, how her attacks are getting worse. All of us friends were made aware of it, because if Rosie was just with her, at the beach, going shopping at the mall, doing whatever, if she starts having that, Rosie needs to know what she needs to do. We all knew that this was an apparent thing. That's why that was one of the first things on our mind when this accident happened, right? So if that happened within that stretch and she's locked in going straight with it's the first straightaway. That first 0.6 miles is a straightaway. If them boys don't realize, okay, if they just think that she's just speeding up, just trying to speed down the road, okay, that might be a normal thing. We've all done it. Until they got to the stretch where the hard turn came to where, oh shit, she's not turning. What the hell? Let's turn the car. And then it's too late. It's all too late. They don't got no time to get the foot off the pedal. It's too late to respond. They were all in the mindset of sleep that morning. They weren't like aware, like watching her every move, doing all that. Nah, like Dom's eyes were barely open when he was leaving that house. Davion wanted to come home with me, but like I saw it in his eyes. The reason why he wanted to go home with Dom is because he wanted to get some sleep. Like all they wanted to do was go home and sleep. So if they were, I'm not saying they were sleeping in the car, but they definitely weren't aware if something was happening down that first straightaway where the car was going straight and just speeding up from her having a seizure. They probably didn't notice that. They probably weren't aware that that was happening until the snake came and that hard right turn came and then the hard left turn came, rollover events happen, impact. It all makes perfect sense. It's crazy. It's crazy. Airbags go off before it blows her that way.
That was one big thing that changed my opinion of the whole crash. It doesn't mean that,
the car went off the road. Like yeah. As soon as all that happened, it was a wrap. Like but it makes perfect sense. Like it makes a lot more sense than some magical fight that just happened. You're going to tell me they fought, but you can't tell me what they fought about. Their family member wants to go advocate for this David Waterman case. But at the same time, there's actual evidence in that case. He woke up from his coma.
Yes.
And says she did that. They opened his phone and saw the proof. None of that happened. What were they fighting about? Until you can tell me what they were fighting about, then I'll believe you. They weren't breaking up. They had dinner reservations days after. We were invited. Rosie had plans with Dom and Kenzie. I had plans with Davion. I'm confused. I'm confused on where there's no suicide involved. What fight were they? What fight was it? What could it possibly be at 5 a.m, 7 minutes away from Dom's house, 7 minutes away from sleeping and going to sleep for the night? What could they possibly fought about? I'm confused.
Also, I think there's a misconception on the road about the road that was traveled, because Christine Russo keeps putting out that this road is so swervy. It's a snake-like road.
No, it's not.
There's so many curves.
It's bumpy.
And it's not like that. If you look at the road, it's straight and there's a slight curve at the end.
There's bumps in the road. There's bumps in the road from the road being old, but you got to remember, even if the car's bumping, if her arms are locked out straight, if them bitches are locked out as like seizure locked out, it would hold that car straight. It would hold the car straight of wherever the car was starting to veer off of. It would go that way. I saw this news video. I saw this news video where someone had a seizure and they went flying 70 miles per hour in a city, like over the hill, straight into a building. Like wild as shit. It's wild. They act like this shit don't happen. They act like it don't happen. They act like it don't happen because her and Dom got into a bunch of fights, but then ended up bucking through it. They ended up bucking through it. Like I said, I've had multiple conversations with Dom about mistakes we've made in our relationships and how we've pushed past that. And both of the women that we were with are the women we want to be with for the rest of our life. And this was at Kenzie's house, and this was at my house. The picture of them on the hammock, of them sitting on the hammock, and Dom rolling his eyes like that, and Kenzie laughing that night. So it's like, it's crazy. They don't want to hear that shit. They didn't want to hear that shit in court. That's why me and Rosie weren't called into court. It's exactly why.
Someone is in the chat saying, why hasn't she had a seizure in prison? And her luggage.
She has had episodes, and she is documenting them every time. The only reason why she's not going to the medic about it is because the medical process in there is such a pain in the ass. If it's happening every other day, if it's happening once a week, you don't want to be going through dealing with that shit every fucking week, every other day. Mm-hmm. So she is documenting it in her own notebook, from what I'm aware of.
And also, it's they shouldn't be like reporting about it because that's HIPAA violation. Like,
I mean, not only that too, I've never caught Mackenzie in a lie. Right after this accident happened, we talked to her, and people started talking about the relationship, and we started talking about her relationship, and we're like, yo, what's going on with this? What's going on? She would explain it all to us. She'd explain it all, and guess what? The text messages would back it the fuck up later on when we saw them on your channel, Melly. Actually, on your channel. When I saw them on your channel, it backed up a lot of the shit that we heard. And it's like, okay, now we still haven't caught her in a lie. So that's why I'm not calling her a liar, and I don't believe she's a liar, because I've never caught her in a lie. She still doesn't remember to this day, which does play a fact in a seizure. And my evidence for a seizure actually is, so from my understanding in the trial, the medical person that testified, not the medical examiner, like about the autopsies, like the person that they did saw her after, like in the life flight or in the
the doctor
said she was coherent, said she was coherent and shit. Mind you, that was almost about 2 hours after the initial point of impact, right? After the point of impact. Now there's a third party neurologist expert who came in, looked at her levels, said her blood oxygen levels, her lactate levels, 2 other levels I'm pretty sure of, were all found right in the target zones where they would be to have a medical episode. And they said to a medical and scientific certainty that she suffered a medical episode. So it's like, you got that. Then you do have proof of her having this medical episode throughout her life. And I know, I'm not going to speak too much, but I know we're working on some more things with the medical, working on getting more things for that. But yeah, so like they just completely cover that up in court. But I think they maybe have covered it up in court just to get like higher charges, more of a reward for putting like someone away with that high of charges. I don't know if there is some form of reward or something that goes on in the background. I would assume there is. I mean, after she did get locked up, the whole fucking police station got brand new cop cars, got drones and shit. That's pretty wild.
Another thing to me that was like a big red flag was, and I'm not bagging on anyone, but the police investigation with Miss Russo, because in that one you hear Jesus say like, we just want to close this case, we just want to end it, like we just want to close it up, like, and it just seemed like there's some kind of corruption or conflict of interest.
I mean, you can't deny that his mom knew all of those detectives, knew the DEA detective, knew the judge, knew her lawyer, knew the prosecutor, assistant prosecutor, basically everyone with the legal fucking field that was involved in the case. She probably knows and probably has dealt with at some point in her lifetime. You know what I mean? And I never knew how much family was involved in the legal system, like with Nancy Russo and John Russo. And then, like, you got Michael O'Malley, and then you got Jennifer O'Malley, who's her judge in the fucking juvenile, which I remember sitting in the juvenile. In, like, the first 15 minutes of the case, bro, this judge was, like, so nice to Kenzie. She's, like, asking, how have you been holding up? How are your injuries? How is it going? Like, asking all these, like, nice questions. And then had to go take a brief break and comes back and is just this nasty bitch. Just nasty bitch. And I'm like, well, I wonder what went on behind the details that happened there. But
what is
her lawyer told us that his mom got in trouble for going into the judge's quarters. Like, what is this? What is going on?
That entitlement is wild.
Yeah.
What's one of the, before I jump into Kenzie in the hospital, what's one of the biggest misunderstandings of the Shirillas, in your opinion? Aside from so much,
I could see how people
them.
could think that they're naive. Like, even in my opinion, I don't think that they knew a lot about like the illegal activity and the illegalness of stuff. Like, even in like a text message that I saw, like I'm not going to explain the details of it because it's going to come out on a later date. But like, it just shows how clueless and oblivious she was to the illegalness that was actually going on. And so I could say that you could say that she's naive in that way, but to say that like she didn't like punish her kid and you don't know any of that. No one knows any of that. You can't make that assumption. You can't say that. You can't say if she's ever grounded Kenzie or not. I know she has because I've talked to them and I know them, you know? So it's just like a lot of pretty much every single thing. Like the fact that like I don't think Kenzie's mom ever got her like any alcohol or like a bong. I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't think I've ever seen that in text messages. From what I know, it was Dom's mom that was providing that. I mean, what was that recent video of them going to the concert for where they're smoking in the car and she's driving, Christine's driving? Like, it's wild. It's wild. So it's like they just took all of their problems and put them on the Shirillas. So basically a lot of like the stuff that you look at the Shirillas for is like not really how they are. It's just like what's been painted on them.
And I think it seems like we're attacking them, but it's like, why did you lie in that police
interview? And then
interview?
like I don't want to talk about this too much. And I don't want to put no light onto this. But the other family member that's not really talked about in the Shirillas, she's not forgotten about. She's not treated differently. They love everybody equally in that family. So like all that bullshit rumors, stop that shit. It's bullshit.
Well, go ahead, Kalina.
Oh, sorry. There's someone named Renee something that she said, Bubba, you're assuming that they all know these people. Where's your proof? I wanted to say something. You probably should go watch Christine's Unhinged podcast. Like, go and watch those beginning podcasts because.
What does she mean by that question, though?
She's trying to say that you don't have any proof that they know each other.
Who knows each other?
That the Russos and the attorneys know, like the judge and all that.
She called him Jimmy. She called him Jimmy in the interview.
And she mentioned knowing his wife.
And his brother. And now he's not a go-getter, and he's doing it for the money.
Yeah. And like all that.
The fuck are we talking
again, I was listening to one of the podcasts today. I'm sorry, Bubba. I don't mean to get you upset. I was listening to that podcast today, and she literally says, I guess she didn't catch herself, but she said, Christine said that she went to school for political science because of the Russo last name. That in the legal system or in the like over there in Cuyahoga, whatever, like the Russo name is very big and like they get respected. Like she even said that they have like name recognition. So whether or not they're related by blood or whatnot, that name is respected in the legal system there.
Why she kept that last name from her ex-husband.
And that's what and then the mom did. Yeah, she kept her last name because of the
Well, didn't she change or add on Russo later on because she was running
Dom actually wanted to change his name from Russo to Agnello. Christine's actual last name. He wanted to change that at one point, from what I know.
Well, I don't think. I mean, we know he wasn't close to Big Sis, like she claims. They weren't even on talking terms, so.
He was just getting close with his dad, from what he told me. That he just had brought his dad back into his life around that period.
I mean, if we want facts, it's in the text messages, right? And I don't mean to sound like I'm talking shit, but it's like Dom said it himself. He didn't have a good relationship with him.
He said he looked up to Chief Keef. Bang, bang.
There's a lot of like trauma brought up in those text messages too. But let's go. I wanted to talk about when you visited Kenzie in the hospital because I just saw a post today and it was like, I'll pull it up because it's crazy. It says, this is, Kenzie admitting it when she was in the hospital. I know you talked about this before, but when she said she wanted to unalive herself for a long time, I took it as like, maybe she was suicidal or whatever. But then I understood as going into more documents and stuff, like she was not in a good state of mind, right? And tell me about that whole situation with her being suicidal in the hospital and what you know.
So first of all, I'll say this, like a lot of the stuff that has to deal with like the days after her surgeries, like they had her on like fentanyl and shit, bro. They had her on like crazy drugs when we went there, like crazy drugs. So she was all looped up on the drugs, number one. Number two, the whole suicidal aspect actually was my fault, was because I was sitting there not talking to her directly, but talking to somebody else. And I mentioned that Dom's funeral was coming up, and we weren't telling her when Dom's funeral was because we knew she was going to want to go to that. And I think we even have text messages in Rosie's phone where like Kenzie texted her the next day. It was like, come get me, and all that. And like that's when we got called down to the hospital where she's like freaking out and trying to get out of bed and trying to kill herself. And that's when Steve was like, oh, my daughter's gonna die, all that shit, right? And we went there to like calm her down, basically. Like, dude, like there's no physical way you can go. Like, I don't think, number one, like people are going to see you there, honestly. And then number two, like the condition you're in. You know what I mean? Number one, the condition, and number two, God forbid anybody tries to do something to her with all the threats that were happening. You know what I mean? Days following, like literally days following that Natalie was calling about. So it's like God only knows what would happen to her if she would go out in public like that at that point in time. So it's just like you couldn't do that. Like it was never anything of like, it was purely because she couldn't go to Dom's funeral and be there with Dom and like be there in that moment. Like that's purely where all that emotion came from.
Wait, so was she told, because there's like a narrative being given that she was told she was not allowed to go, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So is that true?
Maybe that could be very well true. I know she was on FaceTime with somebody. I saw that they were on FaceTime with her. I saw that.
Yeah,
So
that was something that I also, because again,
but they had pictures of her. I mean, they had a lot of pictures of her on the boards and stuff. I mean,
that's what I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense. If she wasn't allowed, because that's what Christine, Sister Russo, said in her podcast.
Then again, she lies though.
And she does lie. I was really confused because she said Kenzie was not allowed at the funeral. But there was pictures of her. You said there was pictures of her at the funeral. But then she said that for the first 3 or 4 months, a lot of them thought that it was an accident. So if a lot of them thought it was an accident, which I believe it is, why was she not allowed at the funeral anyway?
I know, from what I know, medically she couldn't go. Like medically, there's no possible way she was going. But I don't. Right. I never heard of anything from the families, at least the Russo family. I won't even say the Flanagan. At least from the Russo family, I never heard of it. Even in the text messages, they were talking with each other. So I don't really know. I don't know where that came from. I don't really know where the rumor came from. I cannot say that I've ever heard that from like any of the family members. I just know medically she wasn't allowed to go.
Yeah, I don't think it probably wasn't said. They probably internally, like as a family, they didn't probably want her there. But the way her was talking about it was like, oh, it was well known. Everyone knew she shouldn't have been there because when that person FaceTimed Kenzie, like that was so disrespectful.
Well, we were under the impression that was okay. We were under the impression that the FaceTime was okay until like it hit social media and everyone was like, oh no, it was disrespectful.
Well, Kenzie had text Mama Russo saying, I'm sorry me being on FaceTime upset you or something like that. I was reading their texts today.
I never heard that they got upset by that, at least. From people that I know that kind of talk to the families here and there, like friends of friends of friends and stuff like that. I've never heard that they got mad about.
Did she respond to that, Rose?
Who? Mama Russo?
Yeah.
I could look right now. I have my computer right here. She ignored her a lot though, honestly. So
good.
But she did apologize that the text made her, or her FaceTiming during the funeral made her upset.
Yeah. It's like, why do they're everyone's like, oh, well, not everyone, but the Russos and then the public are like, oh, she never showed any remorse. She never did this. She never did that. Like, but they ignored her. Like she tried. Like they ignored her. They were mean to her. They didn't want her to come by. Like, how is someone going to show remorse if you don't let them?
Yeah. Can you respond to what when people say that Steve told you like don't not to talk to the police? Is that true? That Steve told you and Rosie that?
No one told me not to talk to the police. No one told me nor Rose not to talk to the police.
Oh, look at that. Faith is saying it was her on FaceTime, and I asked if the FaceTime was okay, and Angelo said it was okay.
Well, there you go. There you go.
There you go.
Interesting. Okay, so you cleared up the suicidal part. Let me see what else I had wanted to talk to you about. Let's talk about the highway incident, the July 17th premeditation. What is your understanding of this? What do you think about this?
So
because it was used against her as premeditation.
So what I know from what she's told me, they'd gotten into an argument, and Dominic said something along the lines of, I can just grab your steering wheel and go like this, like that, into the wall. And she took that as a threat, pulled over on the side of the road, was texting his mom, calling his mom, telling him to come get him. They came and got him, and they made up over text. But from the text messages, from what I've seen, it clearly shows that, like, Dom was apologizing for that, and, like, he even admits that he was trying to off himself, and that if anybody would to die first, it would have been him. So, like, I don't understand how that's not clearly, like, admitting to that. But, and then, like, the response about those texts, at least about the mom's, Christine Mama Russo's text messages and Kenzie, they try to say that was like her saving face, but I don't really understand how that's her saving face after the words, when you look at the text messages, the context is in real time. It's in like, okay, come get Dom, and she's like clearly saying, okay, calm down, Hench is on the way. It's not like if she were to say that an hour later, wouldn't she be like, Dom's already at the house, what are you talking about? Like, I'm confused on that bullshit ass response. So yeah, but that's my whole understanding of that, is that, like, that should not have been used as evidence. And I heard that they had made text messages not admissible in court, and that's the reason why it wasn't used as evidence, which was obviously a string that was pulled from knowledge.
Yeah, because it's in the appeal now. It's counting as exculpatory evidence.
Yeah.
That those come into play.
That's prior intent. That's all they had. That's all the prior. It's the only thing that, like, that was literally like the piece of evidence that these charges were swinging off of. You know what I mean? Everything else is a bunch of bullshit. It's crazy.
It was. I'm sorry. I get very.
You're fine, Galena. You're fine.
Because it is. It's literally, that's the only reason why. Because
that's the only reason, and it's really just because the original people that went in for an interview lied about it and flipped it on it to make Dom look better. I mean, I guess I understand it, but I don't at the same time, because, like, why? If you're really trying to figure out what the fuck happened, why? But okay.
Let's talk about the concerts, because I know that's a big thing that I get, like, oh, Kenzie was out here, and I even thought it too. I'll admit, like, I'm like, oh, she's out there, doesn't have no remorse, but it's like, we don't know the backside to a lot of this stuff, right?
No.
It takes two to tango, and then there's so many parties involved here. And so tell us about, I think there was two.
I know, like, there's two concerts. One of the Russos took her to, right?
Really?
Yeah, it was, her name's Abby, took her to the concert.
So why would they be saying she's showing no remorse, but they had some type of involvement in taking her and getting her out?
I don't know.
It's all a narrative. I
don't know. But the other one was with Rosie and her friends, and actually that's the one where she's in the wheelchair with her little hair up and she's on her phone. While she's on the phone, she's sitting there looking at pictures of her and Dom, crying. Actually ended up going back to the car before the main fucking performer even came out of the entire event. Ended up going back because she was in pain and she was crying and she just didn't want to be there. And yeah, it was just like they completely like just didn't. And we explained all that in the documentary. We explained all of it. It's crazy. And then, like, another thing too that they don't talk about that was also in the documentary that they didn't put in there is Dom had made a scrapbook for them, like literally weeks leading up with like letters in it and stuff. And they took pictures of the letters, took pictures of the scrapbooks. Nope, never made it in there.
What?
It was dated and everything, signed, everything. Like,
that's actually wild.
Yeah, they don't want none of that shit in there.
Trial, like, it was in evidence as like
nothing. It was in nothing. It was supposed to be in the documentary. It was in nothing. And then like let me think. Like, I remember her having like literally a shrine of Dom, like clothes being preserved for the smell. I'm talking like the littlest things that Dom had given her or like could be associated with Dom was all like neatly piled up, like placed up, like literally like a shrine, bro. Like, and she was sitting there all day. Like, we literally begged her to go down to OU for the Halloween party. We begged her to go down there because we were like, dude, this was a thing that Dave and Don, we all planned this the night of. They were excited for this. They wanted to get a hotel. Let's still get a hotel. Let's get a couple bottle of Azules in memory of them. That's what we did. They dressed up as Drank and Zaza. Dom's song literally played it like 5 times a day, bro, in the car. Like, crazy ass good song if you ain't ever heard of it. But it's like, it's crazy. It's crazy that they just flipped all that shit. It's flipped it all in court to make her look bad, to make them look bad.
And right now, Sister Christine is saying, that she pretended like she was in a wheelchair. She went to the Halloween.
Not Halloween. Actually, Halloween was the first ever time she tried walking without a wheelchair. And I remember I had to carry her for majority of the night because her legs were messing. I mean, I'm telling you shit, metal plates, like in.
Yeah, that's what Rosie said.
Yeah, like crazy parts. So it's like, she in no way, shape, or form was like healthy enough, I feel like, to go out, but we kind of forced her to in memory of them. Like, that's literally all that was in memory of them. Never once did we dress up as like dead corpse. That was completely Playboy Cardi, and the reason why it was Playboy Cardi is because one of the concerts they were supposed to go to, that they ended up going to after the accident happened, what had Playboy Cardi involved, and Dom and Dave were hyped that Playboy Cardi was involved. So like, all of this shit stemmed from Dave and Dom, and like, looking back at it, from an outsider's point of view, yeah, it does look bad, but it doesn't help that the prosecution made it look bad in use of their trial. You know, it just doesn't help.
Well, the thing is, if they were going to see Leanne Rimes, it would have been a different story. Like, it's because it's Playboy Cardi. Like,
yeah,
it's not,
yeah.
If they were,
and unless you know who that is.
Yeah, it's like if they were doing,
and like, especially at that era. At that era, come on, like anyone that's like 22, 23, 21 in here, whole lot of red. Come on, bro. Like, don't blow smoke up my ass. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, it's crazy.
It's so sad. And like, it gets me so frustrated and so upset because like they keep like reiterating, like Christine, like the Russos keep reiterating that she's such a bad person. And they keep saying these lies over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. And people are just like eating it up and they're believing it. It's like, guys, they are you really not that smart? Like,
in no way, shape, or form was she perfect. But I mean, she was a 17-year-old girl. She was a 17-year-old girl, and there was a lot of like, I guess, things in her life that you could like pinpoint and nitpick. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's not really that deep. But they all did play a part into one another. And yeah, she no way, shape, or form is perfect. But I do not think in any way, shape, or form they got into some magical argument. By the way, they can't tell you what they argued about, but some magical argument that night at 5 a.m. after she just woke up and they were all ready to go back to bed, and we all had plans the next day, had dinner plans for her birthday in a couple of days. None of it makes sense. None of it makes at all any sense.
Mm-hmm. So Landon,
and like, the text messages don't prove anything to me. Like, the fact that they fought, I mean, God forbid somebody gets mine and Rosie's old text messages from when we were dating in 8th grade, freshman year. I mean, we've been dating for like 9 years. We've been together for like 9, almost 10 years now. So it's like, God forbid if you go back and get our earlier stages, like relationship texts when we're like young and like, you know, the era of like SoundCloud rappers and all this crazy stuff going on, influencing all of us as kids, making us act all a certain way and shit. Like, it's all, no one really knows that shit unless if you experienced it. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
So my question is, like, obviously, like, during the investigation, you guys are seeing some shady shit going on. And then when it comes time for her to get arrested and you're going through, like, the trial process, are you guys, like, expecting it to go the way it went? Like, did you guys like kind of already?
No, we thought her lawyer was like gonna come back with like everything that we've been saying and everything that we've been.
But like, even though like you were saying, well, they're lying about this, they're lying about that, and he was like, well, you can't call them lying.
He was just telling us that like it wouldn't hold up. It's not gonna hold up. Like, there's no like, it's just giving us bullshit legal terms, blowing smoke up our ass.
So even through
all
like
of us
the
fooled for it.
shadiness
All
and
of us
stuff,
were fooled for it.
You still expected Mackenzie to be found not guilty?
I mean, number one, I thought her to have a jury. I thought she was going to have a jury, but we weren't there like when all that process was done. You know what I mean? Like we were considered witnesses, so we weren't allowed to like be around in the building or involved in that too much when that was going through because we were under the influence that we were going to be witnesses. We were never witnesses, but it's like we thought she was a jury. And like honestly, as I was watching the video at work, because I was watching it at work, like I remember watching some video, like some audio, like when she got sentenced. And I like was so shocked that it wasn't a jury. Like, why the fuck is it not a jury? Like, what the fuck? Like, it's crazy shit. Like, so I feel like it was supposed to be a jury, and she just got talked out of it by her lawyer, and that's what she's told me, and that's what I've been told by.
Do you think they signed you guys up to be witnesses just to keep you out of the courtroom?
Yeah,
possibly. Yeah, I would say that's a very good likely thing to be done, because I mean. Wow. Knowing me, I know Steven, one of the times he stood up and said something, I would have done the same thing. I would have stood up and said something. Like, you bullshitting me right now. You know what I mean? You're just straight up bullshitting me.
That was my thought, that it was, they kept you guys, put you as witnesses.
At the end of the day, they can't tell you what they fought about. They can't tell you none of that. And until they can, I'm not going to believe that. I'm just not going to believe it. Because in every other case that I've seen that happen in, there's usually an explanation. There's usually some form of piece of data. Oh, you know, someone got so-and-so pregnant. Someone did this. Someone did that. Nothing. There's nothing in this case. Nothing. So I don't understand how they can just tell you that there was a fight, but not tell you what caused the fight. How long was the fight going for? Was it an all-day fight? Like, what the hell?
There's someone in the comments that is saying it was her choice.
For jury trial.
That's bullshit. It's not your choice, bro. If you're a 17-year-old girl, has never been behind bars, have never had to talk to a legal representative in your entire life, bro. Someone of that profession, of that professional language, of that dialect, all that shit, right? Like, it's crazy. She had no idea what the fuck she was doing in there. She didn't know that she could just stand up in court and be like, no, I want a jury. You know, she didn't know that. We were told that afterwards. None of us knew that at the time. And same with her family. Her family was just as oblivious as she was.
Going off of the advice of her lawyer. Like, she doesn't, that's why they hired a lawyer, because
she wanted a jury. She wanted a jury. And he said that he got, I wouldn't say violent, but he got kind of hostile. Was like, you're going against your legal representation advice. You're going against it. I highly advise you not to do that. Like, crazy shit. And like, being her, and okay, like, we're here right now. What else can I say? Like, no, I don't want you as my legal representation again. Like, she can't talk with her parents because she's considered an adult, so her parents aren't there present with her. They can't discuss this shit once a month amongst each other. It's just it's crazy. They just fucked her. That's all they did.
I can't believe that people think that you get a lawyer for a reason. Like, you don't get a lawyer so you could do all the work and that you know
you know what to do.
You know what to do. No, you get a lawyer because they know, they've been to school, they went, like, got additional 3 years.
They've worked in dozens of legal cases.
You go to them because that's.
And you're expecting them to do what's good. That's going to help you in her attorney.
You're trusting their guidance completely throughout every single process. You're trusting their guidance.
Well, it's in the documents too. The new attorney says she should not have known that he wasn't going to do his job. Like, that's not her problem.
Also was told by Mackenzie, she's still, other than being in court, she's never seen like the evidence used against her and all that shit. Like, her lawyer never showed her that, never discussed any of that with her.
It's so sad.
So yeah, we don't know what he was telling her behind the scenes. Maybe he was painting it to be something completely different. Like, we just don't know. And she didn't have the knowledge. Obviously, none of us do, unless we're an attorney. So that's why we hire an attorney to guide us. And her attorney was not effective.
I remember
maybe she didn't refuse.
I was told that lawyer turned around and looked at them and was like, if you want to throw me under the bus, you can. That's what I was told. And she's like, I always wondered what the fuck that meant, you know?
Someone said she still refused to talk to the police officers. Yeah, that's her right to not talk to police.
I feel like that's like normal.
And
now.
that was the lawyer who told her that too. Just
everyone
is
has
that like
the
not
right
normal?
to
Is that not normal though?
interviewed.
Yeah.
Like,
you have the right to remain
confused.
silent. Anything you use or say could be used against you.
We're acting as if that's like not normal of some sort. I'm confused.
But people villainize it because it's McKinsey. Because that is literally why.
Same thing with 100% acceleration.
You have the right to remain silent. Like,
you look up anywhere, if you just look at the core fact, if you just look at nothing else but 100% acceleration, right? Nothing else, just 100% acceleration. That no way tells you that that was intentional, that they were fighting, that all of that. I mean, like it tells you nothing. Like that tells you nothing basically of what happened in that vehicle. And another thing too is like, didn't like her parents like give her phone password up like willingly? First try, no if and buts about it. Like they cooperate. It's not like they didn't. They weren't hiding anything. It's just it's like when you're involved in something of that nature, your first thing to do is, oh shit, shouldn't I have a lawyer? Like, shouldn't I not talk without a lawyer? Like, you see it in TV shows, you see it in movies, you see it in real life times, you know, some of these people might have lived through that. I don't know. Like, fuck. It's just because it's her name and her face, you want to make it act like it's some crazy shit.
Also, what I was gonna ask is, someone had mentioned this about like the car, because her car had a recall, the 2018 Toyota, and apparently that recall was fixed just like a couple of weeks before the crash. Am I understanding that correctly, or does anyone know about that?
I do not know about that.
I think it was that it got fixed, but I don't know. I'm weird about that kind of stuff. I don't trust it.
Well, apparently the recall was for
brakes, right?
Yeah, the brakes or the acceleration, something like that.
Yeah.
And according to what I was told, or someone showed me, that on her VIN report, that it was fixed just a couple weeks before the crash. So
I think you're right.
I think it could have, that is a big thing to think about. Like, yes, it was fixed, but that doesn't, we all have cars and we all know, like, that doesn't.
I've worked on cars before. You could easily mess something up, leave something too loose, not put it down to the right, what's that? Torque, you know, torque it to the right spec, all that stuff, you know. There definitely could be some play with that. I mean, I don't know. I do
think it was a medical emergency myself, but I wonder if that
until I'm proven wrong in court.
Yeah,
it's that simple. I guess as soon as I'm proven wrong in court, it's that simple. It just wasn't investigated properly in court. Neither was the intoxication investigated properly in court. I don't think that will ever be have a chance to be properly investigated. So you just throw that out the damn window. So it's really only just the medical that can be fucking investigated properly. Go back through her old tests. Go back to the tests that they ran. You know.
I mean, in the bind over, they say, you know, the state says, you know, we don't know what happened in the car. And it's like,
even the prosecutor said in the documentary, you'll never know. You'll never know what happened. But you're telling me. You're sitting here as if you're telling me what happened in this car, but you're still telling me you don't know what happened in that car. Like, fuck's sake, man.
Can you touch on the fact, this is a question, that Christine says on the lives that Kenzie tried a crash car and they recorded it according to her big sis?
Show me the recording.
Yeah, I know.
Show me the recording, big boy. Show me the recording. Like, show me the recording, please. I would love to see it. So, I would love to see the recording of them going through the whole documentary. I'd love to see Frank go on there and talk. I'd love to see Angelo go on there. I'd love to see a lot of people go on there and talk. Not see none of it. Not seen any of it.
Let's I want to talk about the stairs incident, because that's also been a big thing. Like, oh, Kenzie did it, Rosie knows, Bubba knows, like all of this stuff. And I did play into that for a while. I'm just gonna say, like, honestly, but now after I seen the body cam and the reports, it's like, okay, clearly that was not the case at all. Tell us about that, the stair incident.
It was what, like New Year's? Was that New Year's?
Mm-hmm.
So they had a New Year's party, and Dom's parties were like, you could say it was kind of like a mini Project X. You didn't have to worry about no bullshit. You know, it's like everybody's going there. everybody's going there, like hundreds of people. I mean, I would say hundreds of people, but maybe hundreds of people. Could not be over exaggerating. I don't really know, but definitely a lot of people like to be like almost ass to ass when you're walking through there and shit, you know. And so yeah, we were there. I was chilling in the room. So like I was chilling in the pool room, which is like when you come down the stairs, it's the room directly to the right. So I was chilling in that room, and all I hear is boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, I know exactly what that was. Because I swear to God, too, I remember people like just chilling on the stairs. Like there would just be people that just be chilling on the stairs talking to each other and shit. So I'm just like, someone just fell on the stairs. And I walk out there and I see this girl named Karina smacking the girl in the face. She's like, wake up, wake up, wake up. Well, then there's a huge pool of blood coming out from her head. And I'm like, oh shit. And so then I see Kenzie screaming, running down the stairs, call 911, call 911. Somebody call 911. Dom come down after her telling, no, don't call 911 yet. Don't do it yet. And then they came up. By this point, everybody like was leaving. Like everybody was filing out of there. Like, you know, take a big pack of feral cats and put like some chow mix right there. They're all, you know, like everybody got the hell out of there. And so when everyone was getting out of there, I guess at some point they had gotten her up. I know it was Davion that had carried her up because I remember seeing a picture of him with blood all over his shirt. But they ended up getting them up to the house, and yeah, Dom just turned the lights off and like told everybody everyone that like stayed, told him not to respond, not to go out there, just act like nothing happened. And like even his mom was on the same page. Like they asked his mom, and his mom like, no, I'm not calling the police. Like so they made Natalie and Steve call the police, which is wild. Like they live like, I don't want to say where they live, but yeah, that's just wild that like they made them call the police and shit.
That was a big deal to me.
Yeah, and like there are eyewitnesses. I know there are eyewitnesses. I mean, I have a text message from one of them where they said that they clearly saw her eyes roll back to the back of her head and her fall down the stairs. So like she passed out and fell down the stairs. Like that is a fact. That is a fact that I can say.
Well, now, people don't read the police report because
people. But I do find it like I've heard talks that there was benzos found in the system. I don't really know too much about that. I know some of her friends that she was hanging out around are those type of people for sure. So like I don't know if she's like prescribed that for like maybe anxiety or something. I don't really know what the dealio is with all of that benzo talk.
Well, she said she didn't take it willingly in the police report.
Yeah, so, I heard that. See, I had heard that Dom was under investigation. Dom had told me he was under investigation.
Yes.
For someone someone said that someone got roofied.
Yes.
That's what I had heard. So
why didn't
I don't know why they would want to roofie her, because she's like the girl that fell on the stairs is perfectly normal, like fine girl, has never like had no problems with nobody from as far as I've known. I've always been cool with her. I had science class with her. Like me and her were cool. So yeah, she's a pretty cool girl, man. She got big things going for herself now. Like she's on to bigger and better things, man. So it's crazy that people are just trying to like create drama over that situation, you know, because that probably created trauma for her and her family and created a lot of things and probably a lot of scares. And some people are just feeding into it and just like, oh no, we gotta make it bigger than what it is. It's crazy.
To me, it was like the Shirillas were there and they did something about it. And like I feel like some people are taking that as like, oh, they're complicit. They're trying to hide things. But it's like, no, like Kenzie had a good
relationship. No, that was like a direct order from Dom and his family was for the Shirillas. They completely refused to call the police that night.
Yeah, because the house wasn't searched.
Yeah, no.
I mean, like,
that's why they got her out of there. They didn't want the house to be searched.
And then the house was locked up after the fact. And it's like, well, what are you trying to hide? I mean, I can't think of any other reason than that. But how this was pinned on Kenzie, it's and Rosie knowing or whatever, or whoever was in the house knowing, it's like, wait, that's not even it at all. Like
knowing Dom and knowing just him and what he was probably doing when that all happened, his heart was probably pounding through his chest that police was at his house. You know what I mean? With the way that he is. Like there was definitely some form of drugs involved behind the scenes because he wasn't out really that much that whole night. I didn't really see him that much. He was locked up in the back room with all of his friends and shit. What I heard they were doing, I'm not going to discuss. It's rumors, I guess, so I won't discuss that. But that's why I know his heart was probably pounding out of his chest when fucking like cops came. It's probably because they weren't expecting that. That was probably one of the worst time for police to come. Wasn't a time like that.
when people are like, oh, well, Kenzie was hiding. And it's like, well, wait, like, why was she hiding? Because she called her parents to come and call the police. So, like, what does she have
if she
to
was
hide?
hiding at all, it was because Dom wanted her to hide. I'm sorry to say it, but that's just the reality of it.
No, it is. It's the reality of it. It's in the text messages. There was drug dealing. There was a drug investigation. Like, I don't know how much more clear that can be. That doesn't mean that we wish him ill or whatever. Like, it's just a fact.
It's the fact that people have came out, spoke lies about it, and now we have to say this shit to debunk the lies. This shit probably would have never had been said if nobody came out here and lied about it in the first place. You know?
So where was Rosie, like, that night of the stairs?
With me.
Okay.
Wait, no. She was with Kenzie, maybe around Kenzie. Maybe not exactly with Kenzie, but like upstairs, because Kenzie was on the first floor. I think Rosie's up there. I was in the basement with my two buddies from out of town that I had brought up. And yeah, so I don't really. I honestly, I think she was upstairs. I just remember all of us meeting up outside. That's all I really remember. I don't exactly know her whereabouts in the house at that exact moment. But I know we had multiple friends at that time period that were literally standing at the top of the stairs when this girl fell down the stairs, and like all said that no, her eyes rolled back to her head and passed out.
Yeah. What?
It's weird too. It's weird too because it's like if we were all to stay, like what we were supposed to do. If everybody was supposed to stay, what were we supposed to do? Stay and party, or like stay and just stand there and wait till it all gets figured out with? Like, no, you're high school kids. You're gonna get the fuck out of there. You know what I mean? Whoever's house it is, that's whoever's problem it is. That's exactly how that goes in every single situation. It don't matter.
I mean, people don't want to recognize that, but it's the truth. It's like, it's a house party.
No,
we don't want to go to jail. We're
truth.
young. Like, we're booking it.
Every party I've been to that's gotten busted, I'm jumping out windows, dog. I'm trampling over people, dog. Like, I don't care. I'm out. I'm out speed. You know what I mean? Like, that's
people
how it is.
Forget
but that's
what
how
they
it
were
is
like as a teenager. Like,
yeah, I don't got to worry about it now because I'm old enough. But it's exactly how that is, and nobody else can tell me wrong. Nobody else can tell me wrong.
But I think people don't like to talk about this kind of stuff because I don't even want to say it paints the Russos in a bad light, because it's not a narrative. It literally sheds bad light on who they are. You got Dom kicking this girl out. She could have died. That was a serious injury. But
I yelled at Davion afterwards. I literally yelled at Davion afterwards. I told him, I'm like, Dave, you should have took her, because literally where she was at, right next to her, was one of those white foldable up tables that you play Pong on. I said, you should have put her on that table and acted as if it was a stretcher. I was like, when someone's passed out like that or like gets knocked unconscious like that all of a sudden, it's really dangerous to move their spine and to move their neck and to do things like that. Like, you can run the risk of making them paralyzed and shit by doing that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, clearly the Russos were out to protect themselves. Like, they didn't give a damn about this girl. Like, and Mama Russo's
so it's exactly why I don't give a damn about Mackenzie. I mean, it's the same energy about Mackenzie though. It's just at a lot more of a personal level now with what happened.
Right.
Yeah. I'm trying to look for the clip, and maybe you guys have seen it, but Christine does say a lot. Sister Christine does say a lot about how she doesn't. You guys are talking badly about Dom, like she doesn't want his name to be tarnished or whatever, like anything like that. There was a scene that a part that she said there he has some pictures with like stacks of money.
Yeah.
And like the pose. Everyone in the chat knows the pose, the stacks of money. Okay. She said that he comes from a well-off family, which is probably true. Could be true. Because she's an attorney. The mom is an attorney. But like, why do they really think we're that dumb?
I know for sure I got one photo that I just got not too long ago, but I can dig up some photos that can prove otherwise if y'all really need me to.
Yeah, but if they're a well-off family, then why did they need all these GoFundMes if they're a well-off family? Exactly. Like, they needed a GoFundMe for his funeral. They needed a GoFundMe to repair his grave when it got burned. Like, if you're a well-off family, why do you keep setting up these GoFundMes?
And I hope someone in the chat, like, if we all have hope someone has recorded all of her stuff, because if she's watching, she's probably going to go back and try to delete that scene or delete that that video off her YouTube channel, but that's exactly what she said. He comes from a well-off family. And it's like, they're trying to protect something that unfortunately they cannot protect. The fact is he was a drug dealer. The fact is he had issues. The family had issues. Like, it is what it is. Maybe if you didn't lie about Kenzie, this wouldn't be out here like that. But I digress.
Can you touch on why? No, I agree. Why Kenzie didn't post bail, Landon, that you know of? Obviously, because it was
the lawyer
lot.
told the lawyer. I was there when the lawyer told her parents not to bother because it'll count as time served later on and it'll help her out down the long run. Like, because he in his mind, he wasn't really trying to defend her to the best capabilities. What we were under the impression is he was trying to go for reckless driving, and he didn't care about any of us who saw him. He was like, I only care about who can tell me that she's a reckless driver. When all of her friends were standing there, there was one person that said, it's like, I mean, I've been in the car when she's driven fast before, and so I think he was under the impression that he could get her off on 4 to 6 years, and that time being served will play out and help out in her favor with a much shorter sentence. That's what I was under the impression of, and basically gathered from him saying that. But yeah, he told them not to pay bail because they wanted to, but no.
Someone said well, that doesn't mean he deserved to die. I just don't understand why people can't separate.
That don't mean that. I don't know why
it
goes to that. That's just crazy as fuck. Ain't nobody say that. Ain't nobody.
We're not even. Yeah, we're not saying that.
It's just people are calling us liars for certain information when we're not liars, and there's proof that we're not liars. And then the only response you can say is, well, that doesn't mean he should have died. And no, that's not what nobody's saying. Ain't nobody ever hinted towards that or even batted an eye towards thinking.
But why are we going online and calling to cancel Rosie and talking bad about Landon and Rosie?
I mean, we could have easily used that 1 point. And here's nothing. Yeah, she's always had them followers. We could have easily used them 1.2 million followers. Completely wiped the board with the narrative and the story, but we haven't. We've kept it separate. And there's certain people I heard that want to go and attack it personally because either they're jealous or something of those sorts that she's successful in that manner. I don't really know what the reasoning is behind it, and they want to call her a wannabe influencer. Bitch, she's been an influencer. She's been an influencer since 2020, so I really don't know what that problem is and where that came from. But yeah.
And if you and Rosie were grifting, y'all would have come out right the day of the documentary, Big Sister, and done your thing.
No, we planned our last day out. We went to a Kid Cudi concert, had the time of our fucking life before that documentary came out as the last basically normal day that we were going to live, because we didn't know how this documentary was going to go. And now that we look back at it and we've seen it now, it's okay, yeah, that was our last normal day to live, basically. Is basically how it is. Because, I mean, we still to this day got people in our DMing us in our comments, turn your comments back on. We want to talk to you. Just DM me. My DMs are open. If anybody has any questions, DM me on Instagram, TikTok. I'll be happy to answer them as best as I can. Now, if you come at me with some disrespectful, stupid shit, I'm not going to respond. All right. So if you really want to know something, ask me. I'm not shy to say it. I'll speak in Rosie's regard too. If you want to know something about her, I'll speak in her regard. I'll literally ask her the questions you asked me. I'm not hiding shit.
Will she be coming back online, Rosie, I know she has her YouTube page, but I know that there's a lot of shit going on and bullying and hate comments. How's she feeling about that?
Whatever. I mean, it's gonna come with it, with the media. Just gotta push past it and do what you gotta do. If shit's gotta be addressed later down the road, it's going to be addressed. If we're pushed to have to address things, we will address things. We will do what everybody has expected us to do. And yeah. So I mean, we're just trying to go about our lives and still spread truth. That's kind of what we're at now. We just go about our normal lives, but still spread truth at the same time and make sure people aren't misled and fooled by bullshit.
Someone says, why are you defending Kenzie? And who took the bag of drugs out of the trunk? We already talked about this, but
I mean, why I defend Kenzie is because I truly believe Dave and Dom would want the truth out there of what actually happened. I really believe that they wouldn't want her sitting in jail for like some crazy like narrative that she didn't do. Like I'm sorry guys, if this went any other route, like reckless driving, intoxication, medical episode, it wouldn't be on Netflix. We wouldn't be sitting here talking about it. There wouldn't be this general like this general shadow that follows her now with that narrative being placed upon her. And that's really why we're fighting for this, is because I know that was Dominic's girlfriend, guys, that we're forgetting. That was his girlfriend of 4 years who he loved. He told me he loved her myself. You can't deny that. You can't tell me that I'm wrong in that, because that's what he told me out of his own mouth. So it's wild that people are out here doing this, and I don't think that they would want this to be done at all. No. And then the whole drug in the car thing, it's just I don't know where that came from. I don't really know. I really don't know. Like, I know where the whole driving past the accident comes from, right? And then we see like somebody 3 minutes later driving past the accident off security footage. But where this whole like somebody went into the trunk or somebody went in the car, I don't know where that fucking came from. Like I know in the police body cam, one officer had asked, who put these bags here? And he goes, I don't know. They were just like this. And then another body cam, they're like, oh no, this officer took them out, right? Same thing here. The one lady officer asked him, which one of them was in the back seat? The officer goes, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's everybody don't know shit around the scene. And I don't know why they don't know shit. I'm not in their job. I'm not the police officer that's supposed to be investigating this and dealing with this. Why they did that, why nobody didn't know shit, I don't know. That's why it needs reinvestigated. That's why it needs retrialed. Like, it's that simple. You're making me answer my own questions here, man. It's crazy.
And at the end of the day, it's like we're not trying to solve this mystery. It's not our jobs. We're not professionals.
I want to know.
Well, I know, man.
What I'm saying is, like, personally, like, I'm not trying to play detective, but what I am trying to do is get Kenzie a fair trial so the truth can come out. And that's
I'm trying to figure out what the fuck happened. That's all. I want to know what the fuck happened. I want all avenues, all different theories, everything. Shit. Investigate us for potentially driving past. I don't give a damn. Do it.
Taking the drugs in the trunk.
Yeah, because I know we didn't do it. So, like, I'm asking for all of this to happen, please. And I wouldn't be asking for this if I did do something fucking to make myself a criminal. It's wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go back to the evidence in the scene. Can you talk about the phones? Kenzie's phone, Davion's phone, Dom's phone, and another phone, right?
Yeah, he had his main phone and his trap phone.
And the trap phone is what we didn't get to see, right? Or did
I would assume. I think I would assume, yeah. I would assume.
What's your theory on the device that was seen in the car? You know what I'm talking about? I don't think that was a device. Someone tried calling me out on some blasphemy, I'll call it blasphemy. On some bullshit, right? And they tried saying that I said that they had a tablet or something. That's bullshit. Yeah. We did. We thought that.
I never said that there was a tablet. I said that, is there a chance? Possibly. But what I think and what the detectives debunked is that it is the reflection of the lights. Because, I mean, from what I remember, seeing that car come down the road, before it even, like, gets within about 5-10 yards of turning, you can see the reflections of the lights going over the car as it's going faster, and you see it starting going slower and slower, and then, oh my god, it looks like a tablet now. Mm-hmm. I mean, if it was a tablet, you would see like a face lit up for sure. If it was that bright of a fucking light, you'd see a face lit up of some sort, you know. And also at the same time, at 5 a.m, about to go to bed in about 10-15 minutes, Kenzie just woke up. I don't see any reason why there'd be a laptop or a tablet that needs to be open in that car. There's no reason.
Yeah. No.
Go ahead, Kalina.
No, it was just, I feel like, you know, people are just like, I know that like Landon, Rosie, the Shrillas, Faith, like they really want to know like for sure what happened because they're very close to them. But like us, we there's no way that we're gonna be able to find out, and that I don't know if we're that invested in like wanting to know exactly what happened, but I know that I am very, very invested in the fact that she got a very, very bad trial. Very bad trial, and her name is being drugged through the mud on lies, all lies. And I don't know why people don't understand that. Like, two things can be true. It's sad that Dom and Davion died. It is sad. Nobody wanted that. I don't even know them, and I don't want that. But at the same time, why are you going to have someone in prison who didn't do that on purpose?
I know both of them boys wouldn't want that very alone reason to be the reason why I don't speak truth about this case. I think they both would want me to speak the truth and want me to do what I'm doing. And I mean, I feel, not to be on no weird shit, but I feel the energy, you know, I feel the, like, almost like it's like power to do so, you know? And like, I know if I was wrong in any type of way, shape, or form, I'd be experiencing different things. My life would be throwing different things at me, and it's not, you know.
And the truth is on your side.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't ever have to worry about like someone snippeting me, saying two different things. It could be worded differently, but it doesn't mean it's two different things. You know what I mean? I never eat my fucking words. I never go back on what I say. I stand 10 toes down, boots house down to the ground. You know what I mean? Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about the text messages and Mackenzie selling herself? I know you've talked about this before,
I
but
don't think she sold her, so I never heard of that. I mean, I would think anything of those sorts would be between her and Dom. I know I've heard of the 1 foot thing with her friends that she was with. I would say I could blame it on her friends, but I mean, nah, there was no way, shape, or form she was selling herself or selling feet pics to make money. I mean, she'd have money then, right?
Well, because in the PowerPoint from the state, they go through this thing where she was like selling herself and selling rugs, and it's like, yeah, we've seen it, but did you ever talk to Dom or Mackenzie about that, like in general?
Not really. I mean, I didn't really talk about that type of shit. Like I said, I don't think, from what I even seen, I don't think it's enough to say that she was like selling herself or that she was like a prostitute, you know?
Yeah.
Of any shape, way, or form. I think it's all gotten blown out of context, and we got to remember, like, this is still like a young teenager we're talking about at that point in time. So it's just like, that's like, yeah. So it's like, I don't think that she's getting sold out and shit. She'd have money then. That's all I'll say. She'd have money, right? Like, we see that come up a lot in text messages. I'm confused.
Yeah, and she would have been underage at the time, so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people doing feet stuff. You know, I mean, I don't know. I've even thought about doing feet stuff, but you know, I don't.
There's lots of lies. There's lots of lies, and like, I'm sorry. The reason why the reason that this story is the way it is, and this narrative the way it is the reason why people are nitpicking such little shit that you can like blow out of proportion, because it's like, you know, there's just shit out there that's little that can be blown out of proportion. There's nothing you can do about it, and it's just caused a lot of that in this case because of the prosecution, because of how they painted this. Like, I want to ask every grown woman that has a daughter at that age. I mean, it was different times back then too, but still, I would love to see them go through their daughter's phone and tell me what's going on and tell me what they got chopping up behind that screen, because I bet you'd be damn near just as bad as she was. So.
Well, I want to talk about like her selling rugs, because like in the text messages, she's like, "Oh, I'll sell a cart for you," and people seem to think that she was El Chapo and running this whole big organization, and it's like, you know,
I mean,
like,
oh my
no,
God, guys,
actually,
she had like a group of girlfriends that, you know, she had a boyfriend that was a rug dealer, bro, and you know, she could get that for friends here and there.
And like pictures I seen of Kenzie before Dom, like she looks really just young and like naive, and like I'm pretty sure she wasn't banging and slinging drugs out of her house, the Shirillas. We know that was, she adapted to change because she was in love with Dom and she was continuing to spend a lot of time with him. So
when you're broke, you'll start doing anything, man. It's kind of how it is, you know.
Yeah,
that's how I look at it. Like, if she got constantly pestered by Dom for being broke, then it probably would cause her to have the idea, well, I can just sell carts for you. You know, I can just do this for you. I mean, it just so happened to be that her boyfriend was a dealer. It's
But
like,
people want to pin it on like, oh my God, she's the one who started it. And I'm like,
yeah,
no.
nah, bullshit.
You can tell
Bullshit.
when Kenzie moved in and beforehand her trying to, like, her lifestyle changed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I
you can
know
see that
I
change.
know from personal experience, like I said earlier in the live about my little vape pod that I bought. I know that he's been doing that from a decent age, I'd say, probably around 13, 12, 14, somewhere around there. So, yeah.
It's so sad.
They can't bullshit me that it's all Kenzie that was doing that. Get the fuck out of here. I knew a kid, I ain't gonna say his name, but I knew a kid in 7th grade that was selling Percocets in the bathroom. Like, how the hell did he get Percocets? You know, I think he got caught with them or something.
That was actually a topic of conversation between Dom and Kenzie because Dom
was it?
Yeah, they talk about it in the text messages. Like,
Get fucked.
yeah, Dom taking like Percocets and stuff like that. That is brought up, and the lean too. Did you know about all of that? Like,
yeah. No, I've tried lots of lean before.
No, I mean, like, did you know that Dom was like selling it and stuff?
Yeah.
Because there was like a picture, and I wish I had it up now.
You don't know none of the sources. To the extent of what he was selling, we had a good idea of it. It came a lot more to light of when the next person took over because of how dumb they were about doing it. So, like, a lot of the shit that I saw them post, I was like, wait a minute, wow. It's crazy.
Because there was a picture.
I remember being in Dom's Telegram, and, like, he posted, he's like, all right, today is the day that me and my goons are going to come knock down all the people's doors that owe me money and shit. Like, and it was, like, big-ass Telegram. It was funny. I started laughing at it when he posted that.
Because there's a selfie of Kenzie that I actually saw on Keezy's page, and it was like she's just taking a selfie, but in the back, and I never noticed, having gone through these things a lot of times, I never noticed like there was like 12 bottles of lean on the table. And
if you ever notice anything green, if you see anyone drinking a green liquid, a purple liquid, or a red liquid, especially when it comes to that context, in this situation, it's lean. It's lean. I mean, I know Blair still drinks it on his lives to this day. I've seen him drink it. I've seen the green. I've seen the Quaken, the Quakey Achy. You know.
Oh.
I can go get a bottle of it right now. Like it's like bullshit. I got an empty bottle that's sitting in the room next to me right now. And that was a very common thing to get, especially being next to Detroit, because that's where the Quaken pharmacy is in Detroit.
Okay, well, I've worked in pharmacy.
Yeah, so it's very people have connected to that shit.
I was just gonna say that's not easy to get from your local pharmacy to go in there and ask for 12 bottles of lean. So I definitely question it, having had that experience.
I think NBA YoungBoy got arrested for that shit. Imitating being a doctor. That's a thing. You can go in there and like make fake prescriptions, call in, imitate to be a doctor, all sorts of stuff. Like there's a whole method to that. NBA YoungBoy got locked up for that. He got caught doing it like 60 times or something.
Because when I was working for Big Pharma, like they monitored that, like the drug enforcement monitored that, like how many bottles of lean are you selling? So when I saw that many, I'm like,
it's okay. Probably, I think from what I've heard, it's from a lot more of like look up Patient First in Berea. It's like pharmacies like that, a lot more local pharmacies. You know what I mean? And they got busted actually. Patient First got busted, but it's pharmacies like that do that shit from what I've heard.
Interesting. There's a photo of online of you holding a big wad of cash. Can you please just shut this shit down? Because people are like,
all right, I'm gonna do this. Hey, Rose Gold, I'm gonna do some one of y'all's lives. in the following days. I'll show the whole week. I'll show the whole week of activities I did with this kid. All right. That was taken a whole year and like a month, 2 months after. It was in September of 2023, like way after the accident. And I was at my buddy's house in Virginia. I have more pictures with the money in different contexts and different settings. I mean, I could probably call the fucker right now, get the same stack of cash to show you. Like, it's crazy. And then I have so many other different videos and pictures. I have videos of me shooting off a bunch of guns at the gun range and shit that week. Like, I went down there. We were just having a whole week. Dude. We got this whole, like, Motel 6, stayed in there we called it, because he lives in, like, the ghetto of Virginia, like, the absolute ghetto. Like, I'm talking... Like, we saw some weird-ass shit go down, like some federal-ass shit go down in these hotel rooms and, like, just weird scenes. And we called it the Hood Stories. So it's like we're gonna do a part 2 soon. We're gonna go there. Maybe I'll record it the second time. Like I'm telling you, we're sitting on top of the second balcony on this Motel 6 just watching like all this crazy shit going on. As soon as we stepped off the porch, police show up. We went right back inside. We're like, nah. So I have like all of this shit documented on film. So it's like funny as fuck that they're trying to like use that against me.
Yeah, because it's been a question. I was on a panel on my friend ATS, and people were actually asking about that. They're like, "Well, why does Bubba have that much cash? Like,
I mean,
he's the drug dealer." Like,
I mean, it's crazy, bro. Like they came at me for that shit on some wild ass shit, and like this other content creator live was like saying like, oh, he's so off the wall about it. He's so all over the place about it. No, I'm not. It was taking place in Virginia, 9 hours away from here, a year and a month after the accident. Like completely, I met the kid on the game. We talked with each other for like 8 years before I met him for the first time, and I met him like twice since then. That one time is that week I went down there, and the other time was I stopped at his house on the way down to the Outer Banks. Actually, on the way down to the Outer Banks when we were going down there before the accident. A week before the accident. That's when I stopped and saw him the first time. So yeah, no, like it's crazy. Like they're trying to nitpick that shit, but it's like I have all the proof for it, you know? I have multiple people that were like there with me. Like I had this little Mexican kid, like little 16-year-old kid, crash out of a kid, but I had this little kid that like he could testify for me, say that yes, that's like it was taking place down there, not my buddy. Like it's crazy.
you might have already answered this, or maybe you don't know much about it, but can you talk about the grave fire, Dom's grave fire? Like, what do you know about that? You might not know a lot, but
I knew it caught on fire. When I heard about it, I saw it on everybody's stories. I went up there.
Do you think that was intentional?
I don't think so. I wouldn't think so. I mean, someone could have left a lit blunt, you know what I mean? Thought they put it out, put it down. Because he had like this little cup thing, this little candle full of buds, you know what I mean? Like ended joints, ended blunts, and cigarettes and shit. And it could have been something like that. I mean, it could have been the electric lights that they always had up at night, you know, because there are lots of lights, and there was a lot of lights on Dave's grave before he got his stone. But they used a lot of those lights, so it could have been something like that. Could have been a candle left. I mean, I know there has to be somewhere some form of footage at least, or like I know there's a whole lot of police cars to the next to the cemetery. I know there's security footage on the shed that's in there. I don't know if it's pointing at his grave. I know they just opened a brand new park right on the other side of the fence of his grave. It's like if you were to take a picture of his grave, you'd see it in the background. They also have the rec center behind there, which I don't know if they have cameras pointing in that direction, but you may be able to see if like someone walks up to it and like flames light up. You know, I feel like you'd be able to see that from a distance away. So yeah, I mean, I don't think it was intentional.
Okay, that's good to know. And you might have already mentioned it, but the Flanagans, they don't really talk much about this as the Russos do out in public, or some of the Russos.
I think they're finding out a lot of information just as much as the rest of the world is.
Really?
Yes. I mean, I would hope so. I would only hope so that they are. So.
I have a question. Did the Flanagans or Divine ever express to you how they felt hearing Christine Russo call Davion that little black boy?
No, I did. The only thing that she ever really expressed to me was like when we called her on Snapchat. We were on a Snapchat phone call before we had left out of town one weekend. We were supposed to meet her when we got back that Sunday. She was supposed to come over, either go out to dinner. Told her to bring as many people as she wants, friends, boyfriends. I don't want her to feel like she's alone, you know, all that. And basically she told me that she just had a lot of questions about the witnesses used in court and all that. And we were happy to answer all of them. And then when we got back from our trip, she blocked us. So that's all I know about that.
So
I think she expressed on the phone too. She expressed on the phone too that she didn't want her parents hearing that she's talking to us. She didn't want her parents to know. Maybe they found out. Maybe she had told them or something over that weekend before we got back, and they made her block us. I don't know.
Because it's kind of confusing because the way Sister Christine talks about them is like, oh, they're so close, they're super close. But like I mean, I feel like they be offended by being like the way Christine addressed Davion in that call?
I would hope so. I don't even know if they've heard the phone call. I would hope they've heard the phone call.
I feel like they would have seen it by now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
But
so it has clearly affected your relationship with them, yeah?
Yeah, I would say so.
Everything that's going on.
Yeah.
She
I don't know
didn't
if they
say
feel
that.
scared. The only time Christine Russo, the sister, has ever was when I was in her comments. She didn't even want me to go on her podcast. She wanted to meet me in person and
hold on. She did not say that minutes after learning her son was dead. That was not the same.
That was a couple of days.
That was later. It was not the same day. So I don't know. La puerta, whatever.
I think. All right, don't quote me on this. But I think in the video footage of Christine finding out, I think she did refer to Davion as that little black boy that was always working on the cars with Dom. I think.
Oh, and that, right.
Yeah.
But I'm talking
I think that's what they might be referring to, though.
No, but she says it again a second time.
Yeah. Like later on when they're trying
later on, a couple days later.
Because the way she said it when she first found out, it looked like she really did forget his name. She was like, oh.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I didn't know if that was the moment they were talking about.
In the phone call, when she's talking to the police about getting Dom's phone and his belongings out of the car, that was days later. And the way she said it that time was very offensive. It was not the same way the first time.
Yeah.
But anyways, sorry, go ahead.
I want to go just back to the crash because we read in text messages that Dom would ask Kenzie to put things on her person. Like she had them on her that night.
Yeah, that was a known fact. That was a known. Dom would have her keep it in her waistband, keep it in her bra line because she's a minor. They don't search minors. So if they ever got pulled over, they wouldn't search her.
So, but she had that stuff on her that morning. So, like, you think that was a possible thing? Because I'm thinking there was a. Why would
he probably had her carry that stuff on her? So, like, just to be, he always would do it. It wasn't like only a once in blue moon thing. It was like anytime they went out with a little bit of weed, anytime they went out with any of that, if they're traveling anywhere, it's probably what was going on. Or like, I don't know if they're able to search minors' purses. I don't know if that's a thing too, but he could have had her do that too. So.
Someone said, explain why calling Davion that one little black kid is offensive. You guys, the whole internet made a big deal when Natalie Sharilla referred to him as a new friend. So you guys want to get offended when she calls him a new friend, but you're not offended when Christine Russo says that one little black kid.
And then don't make assumptions. Don't make assumptions on where she was going to go with that conversation in court, her mom, because the judge cut her off and she never finished it.
Exactly.
So don't make an assumption.
Judge cut her off.
Yeah, but it is offensive.
I would say it is. I mean, I would say it's offensive.
I think so.
Like, if anyone can't pronounce or anyone can't remember, like, there was just one creator who keeps calling Paul Pete. It's like, come on, guys, get it together, all right? But, like, if you can't remember that his name is Davion, call him Dave. That's what everybody around him would always call him, was Dave. So just call him Dave if you can't remember Davion.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you don't call people like that's just it's not the way that she could have just said, I don't want any other family members of.
Or what about saying like the other victim?
Other victims.
Yeah.
But she knew Davion's name. They told her Davion's name repeatedly. They were told Davion's name.
That was a statement made out of pure frustration and anger because she couldn't get the keys to her car.
Mm-hmm.
What that statement was made out of.
Mm-hmm. And that's sad because it's like, you're supposed to be an attorney too. Why aren't you a professional? Like, I just don't even understand that. And her son died. I understand that, but it doesn't mean that you can be disrespectful still. Like,
it doesn't excuse lying and bad behavior. Like, it just doesn't.
Yep. So I'm saying, like, I don't care what it is. I don't care how big, how little, how small, how large, how long, how short. a lie is a lie, and we should not be lying when it comes to the death of these two boys.
They're just making it worse because here we are talking about the truth, and now they look bad because what we're saying, but it's because they're lying.
Yep. And they just keep like lying about shit. It's just like, if you don't lie about it, then I'm not gonna have to talk about it. I'm not gonna have to come out here and like tell the truth about it that entails like drugs and this and that and this and that you don't want to hear about, you don't want the world to hear about. Then don't tell me that I'm lying about it. Don't call me a liar. Don't knock my public credibility.
We're the bad people for exposing the lies, but the Russos are not bad people for telling the lies. Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Shows you how much the world's lost their mind with the way the world, the political shit going on. It's caused everybody to lose their mind. They've lost themselves. They've lost. Crazy.
Listen, if people keep saying they're the ones who lost the family, I'm gonna say this. It does not matter. They did lose their family, but that's besides the point. We're talking about the actual trial, the lies that are being said. Like, yes, their child died, but that doesn't mean that they can go ahead and just like, that's kind of like saying my child died, now I can go kill the other child. Like, it doesn't give you an excuse to do things because your child died
and be a shitty person.
Like, you know, I am dumbfounded by the way people are like talking about this. Like, no, it does not make a difference if they're the ones who lost their child.
Like, you gotta remember, in Kenzie and her family's eyes, like, she's a third victim in a way.
And she is a third victim.
Like, that's what it is in their eyes, and that's what they truly believe. That's why the jail phone calls are the way they are. That's why they feel the way they do in the situations, because yes, she is a third victim in this situation. And like, people
don't have like,
they want to act like it's like it is. Whenever it comes to Mackenzie, they want to say whatever they want to say about it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the people who are saying that never have experienced someone being in prison for that long. Like,
me and Rosie always talk about this, and it's like, me and Rosie are so blessed to have known all three of these individuals individually, know their mindsets, know their personalities, know who they were. They were actual real people that we spent time with, spent all night with and shit like that on multiple different occasions, and like hung out, did crazy different activities with them. They took us to crazy spots we'd never been before. Like, a lot of influence on our lives. And like, some people like close the situation want to make it look like, oh, you're trying to be them. No, they influence our lives a lot. Like, the places that we eat, to the places that we drive around and see in memorial of them, So it's crazy. A lot of shit in our life has came from them. Influence.
And one thing I could say, by looking at all the pictures and the videos and all that stuff of you guys hanging out, like, I doubt that both Davion and Dom would have wanted any of this to go down this way.
Nope. Not the lies, not the character switch, the character assassination that's going on. Like, they don't want that shit. They would not want that shit whatsoever.
No.
I see comments that say, what about Kenzie calling Dom the N-word? But it's like, it goes both ways, honestly. Like, they did it to each other. Dom did it as well.
Don't even get me started on fucking Strongsville High School with that shit, bro. Don't even get me started on that shit. That was you want to go to one of the biggest spots where white people are saying that shit, go there.
And,
really?
And
still to this day, go there. Still to this day, go there.
It doesn't change the fact that it doesn't matter. It is offensive. She probably shouldn't have been saying it. He probably shouldn't have been saying it.
Yeah.
Anyone who should not be saying it should not be saying it. That doesn't. Now we're not excusing Mackenzie.
No.
Because of the way, it's
the world.
But it's like recognized.
You gotta recognize both the bits. Both.
Yeah. The double standards in this are actually wild, for sure.
Very wild.
I mean, Blair's got a shirt on his TikTok where it literally says it on his shirt. Is that bad? As bad as saying it? I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, he has a shirt where it says that. It says the N-word on it.
And that's allegedly Dom's best friend, right? Blair.
No, that's not allegedly. That's factually his best friend. out of his words, Christine Russo's words, Big Sister's words, all of them. They all have said that that's his best friend.
But you know what's funny is Blair also said in his interview that he never seen them fight, and it's like, where is that energy for Blair?
Same shit we've been saying, but we're lying about it.
Yeah, like it's people need. I don't know how people don't see through Christine. Like that woman has issues. Like she just lies and lies and lies. It's unreal. But yeah, I mean, how do people not see that the hypocrisy? Like it's crazy.
Someone in the chat is saying that they grew up with you, Landon, and they know how terrible Kenzie is.
Oh God, I think it's
what's her name?
Girl, Jasmine.
Jasmine who?
It says Jasmine Vaughn on here, but let me see.
No, I know who that is, and I've talked to her on multiple different occasions, bro. I don't know what else to say to her. Like, she's acting as if she knows these people better than I do. Like that's what she's like trying to act as if, and it does not make sense. I've tried to sit there and explain it. She doesn't hear it. She doesn't. I don't care if somebody was a bully. I don't care if whatever the fuck that was, bro. Like if they were a bully back in middle school, back in high school, it doesn't mean that they would do something like this on purpose. It's irrelevant. I don't care what your encounters were with her 10 years ago, 8 years ago. Like she's younger. She's like younger than us too. Like she's like a grade younger, 2 grades younger than us. Would never have hung out with us. I don't think there's ever been a time where she's ever been around us as a friend group. So and I know she'd be taking pictures with Divine, so I know she'd be cool and tighten it with Divine. So it's like she's probably just rocking for her friend. That's all it is. That's why I ain't pressed no big problem about it. That's why I really don't care to talk to her about it. Don't want to talk to her about it. You know what I mean?
Being a bully though doesn't make someone a murderer.
No, bro. I know so many different fucking bullies, bro. It's
like, and quite the contrary. Like when you see like serial killers or like brutal murderers, everybody has nothing but good things to say about them.
You know, I got this video on my phone of this Cleveland rapper now. He's a Cleveland rapper. And he all ghetto and shit. You know what I mean? All ghetto and shit. And I got a video of me when he got COVID mask on, bean dipping him in the bathroom. Ding, 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 ding. You know what I mean? Like, it's shit like that, bro. Like, does that mean I'm going to do something crazy to somebody? No. Like, I don't understand where that comes from, bro. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't see the correlation between someone being bullied and like it's just. And
what's your classification at a bully too? Because I mean, I feel like there was all different levels of bullies at Strongsville High School. Never once was there like an up front, like, you know, this bully, I'm gonna take your lunch money type of bully. Never like that. It was all in their own type of way. Cyberbullying, you know.
But let's be real, people would hate and talk shit on Kenzie too. Like if she was gonna be a bully back, like she got a lot of shit. I remember her saying something in the text messages like, "Oh, they said this about me," and it's like, what do they expect her not to defend herself?
Yeah,
anybody would, right? Or at least
and then
try.
like let's talk about the bully behavior from Christine, constantly fat shaming everyone, slut shaming little girls for what they wear. Like she is slut shaming Mackenzie for what she wore at 13 years old. That's wild. So I mean, the bully is Christine. Literally, she's putting out this bad energy, making fun of people, calling them all sorts of things. It's that's where all the bully energy is.
She's definitely giving bully energy.
I keep seeing like, why is Landon defending Kenzie? You've already explained that, so I'm not going to go through that again. But you think a lesser charge, or do you think she's completely innocent?
I want it fully investigated. The only way she's fully innocent if it's a medical episode. If they can prove that's a medical episode, then it's a medical episode. You know, like you're telling me that they fought, but you can't tell me what they fought about. I'm not going for that shit. Yeah, I mean, I know Dave and Dom would want me to do this. I know that they'd want the truth out and all of it, how they lost their lives and what narrative follows that and what story follows that. I think they want it to be the real true story, not some shit that was just blown up your ass.
I mean, at the end of the day, when everything gets put on the table and the truth comes out and she gets a fair trial, it's like Landon has said this a couple of times. If she ends up back in prison, she ends up back in prison. Like, but I
want every avenue investigated to the fullest extent, and it wasn't. and two of the evidence are like important because there's a lot of evidence supporting both of those. So it's like, what are we doing here? And they fucked it all up, and they just want to go for the highest charge. That's all it was.
Someone said if they can't prove it's a medical episode. As it stands now, all the evidence that they have as of now actually mostly proves a medical.
I mean, there was a fucking literal neurologist expert that looked at her levels and her tests from the life flight fucking test, from all the tests they ran after the accident. He looked at that data and said that he can scientifically and medically say to a certain degree that she had a medical episode at or around the time of that accident. That's
someone said there is no diagnosis, and there is a diagnosis. She has a POTS diagnosis, and it's not just the school record. There's an actual. If you look at the files,
I'm telling you right now, when we get access to the boatload of medical documents that have not yet been seen to the world, it's going to even further prove the point. It's even going to further prove the point that they were actively trying to figure out what the fuck was going on, that there was health issues going on. I mean, it's not only seen in the text messages between Dom and Kenzie. Like, it's a very known thing. All of us friends, everyone in her life knew about it.
If you have a seizure, Dexter, whatever, yes, you could go down on the gas pedal. Like, why is that so hard to...
Your arms tense up and your legs tense up. That's very possible. That would tense up your steering, making you steer straight, and that would tense up your foot on whatever pedal it's on.
They did disclose the POTS at the hospital. A lot of you guys are getting your information from a documentary or from Christine Russo, and both of those are not accurate at all. You need to download the court documents. That's where you need to get your information from, the court paperwork.
They didn't speak at all in the hospital. They didn't say anything in the hospital. So what do you mean?
I think Natalie told the doctor, though, right? The doctor that was working on her. She told her that she had POTS.
I don't know. Yeah. If that's what you guys saw, then yeah.
And again, it's not how we feel about Kenzie. It's about the fact that there's stuff here that clearly wasn't right. That her lawyers wouldn't be filing an appeal for reconsideration if they were just pulling shit out of their ass. You know, like exculpatory evidence, her lawyer, ineffective counsel. I mean,
there's real evidence that discredits and debunks evidence that was used in a legal case. There's more evidence that was just left out of court or wasn't able to be used in court or wasn't brought into court by her lawyer. What is that? That's the pure definition of ineffective counsel in my life.
Yeah.
We're not medically trained. Whoever put that comment, we are reading what the doctor testified to, what her neurologist had on the document. It doesn't take much to read a document. We're not pretending to be medical experts here.
Yeah. And honestly, Natalie really didn't have to say anything about her having POTS in the hospital. I know she did because she knows her daughter has it, but she shouldn't have had to say anything about that. The lawyer needed to do research, needed to get the medical records for Natalie that has to get subpoenaed.
He had that whole doctor look at her levels, look at her tests, but then never used it in court. Just didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, and that was
And also another thing to mention: the detectives and the police didn't pull any of her medical records before July 31st. So like obviously they weren't trying to go down that route. Like they would have pulled prior fucking records if they were trying to go down that route. That shows you clearly that they weren't trying to go down that route. That enough people came in telling stories, telling rumors to make them go down this whole fucking rabbit hole and do this what they did. It's exactly what happened.
There's this doctor on YouTube for all the people in the comments saying POTS and seizures are different or POTS doesn't cause seizures or whatever. I would implore you to go visit Dr. Nathan Kaiser. This guy right here. I don't know if it's backwards on YouTube, but he goes over like he's a POTS specialist. He goes over POTS in detail, and the when people get the I can never say it right, but the non-epileptic
PNES.
PNES. Thank you. How people get that from POTS.
Yes, it's an underlying cause from having the chronic disease of POTS.
Yes, and
from having your body going under that stress and all that shit.
I have reached out to him to see if he would talk. Like right here it says POTS research and stuff. He is a POTS specialist, okay? They won't talk on Mackenzie because they are not her doctor. They did not treat her or whatever. But they sent over a whole list of information that they show that it is an effect. Having seizures is an effect.
And they're, like I said, they're a friend. It's a witness.
Not everyone gets it. Not everyone, but some people can.
It's different for everybody, I think.
Yeah. And I hate
like for anyone to speak that they know in this case, they don't.
They're like, I have POTS and I've never had a seizure. Okay, great. Great.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that the next person.
You want to know a whole nother thing that plays a little bit into the POTS that I never kind of realized until I would say recently after this documentary was. So I always talked about how they used to prescribe her salt tablets. That's what they would prescribe her, but she didn't like taking those. She would just overloading salt on whatever salty meal she would eat. French fries, popcorn. Popcorn was a big one.
We know it's not a McChicken.
No, not a McChicken, but the big one was non-GMO popcorn. I don't even know, honestly, I don't even know if it'd be French fries either. Honestly, I don't think I could ever say I've seen her eat fries. She may have, I don't know. But that's just my first salty meal that comes to my head is French fries. But I know popcorn was a big one, and popcorn was one of the snacks that she actually went back home and grabbed that night. And when she came back, I ate the entire thing of popcorn. I ate all of her salty popcorn. So, I mean, that could also play a thing in the POTS. I don't know. Did she get enough salt intake? I don't know. It's something that never was investigated. Something that's the police's job to find out.
And didn't she go to the zoo that day?
Yeah. They were out doing activities all day, doing stuff all day. Could have been tired, anything. That probably plays a part in why she slept that night. They were out doing activities all day.
Exhaustion or being overheated and stuff like that. That can all trigger a POTS episode.
Yeah.
But that also proves that they weren't fighting if they were at the zoo together having a good time.
I know, right? They were having
right. You can hear them laughing and giggling in the background, talking and shit. It's crazy.
Someone said, why do you think Paul was the only one who called to testify at trial when there was 4 more of you guys at Paul's house night of the crash, especially when Paul went to bed earlier than everyone else?
Because he was sleeping the entire time.
Exactly. That's what I think she was trying to
Because he had no credible information to actually give about that night. Not credible, but useful, I would say.
Yeah. Useful for the opposite.
Useful for prosecution.
Yeah. It's very sad. This whole situation is very sad, and it's just also just sad how people have just have eaten up this narrative. I can't get over it. It's very unfortunate.
Rose, do you have any questions you want to ask?
No, I can't think of any right now.
Landon, what is one thing you want us to take away from what biggest misconception in the documentary and about this case in your opinion? I mean, there's so many, but
biggest misconception in the documentary is we did cooperate with the police. We did. Maya had an interview. She had a phone call with the prosecutor. So we did cooperate with police, especially after we knew that they were done investigating the bullshit I played the video of earlier.
Can you actually play that call one more time? The one where Rosie's talking to the producer, please?
What was the other question you asked other than
about the case in general? I mean, there's so many, but regarding you, I guess.
The biggest thing I want people to take away with is that what could it possibly do if she had a fair trial where every single route was properly investigated? I mean, you can tell me that it might drag the families through another trial, but I mean, if it's a good trial to where it can explain things in more positive light and brighter light with actual facts, data, statistics, medical data, with physical things like that, not just, oh yeah, they fought,
but I'm not going to tell you what they fought about, right? Like shit like that. If it opens it up in a more positive light, I feel like all parties involved should be more open to that. And if they're not at the moment, I really hope that they try their best to be, because I feel like it would bring a lot of comfort and a lot of closure to a lot of people involved that still have emotions and still have anger in this. So I just say, like, all we're asking for is a fair trial. If she ends up going to jail for the same thing, if she ends up going to jail for longer, lesser of a sentence on, reckless driving, whatever the case is, that's what it is. But just let's figure it out. Let's debunk all routes. Let's figure it out and get to the bottom of this, because I feel like the original investigation did not. It was a very sloppy job, very poor job.
Very sloppy.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, I think within days of her getting into the accident, they wanted it to be
yeah. I mean, they were so focused on everything else, they forgot about the blood test. Mm-hmm. They forgot about the blood test. It's like, but then we hear how many different people did I hear come into the police office and say that they were on LSD that night? Like, it seemed like all these people knew about some acid that we didn't fucking know about. So, like, if all these people are saying that, I'm sorry, wouldn't you want to have that pop up in a drug test? Mm-hmm. Like, why did he botch that? Why did he fuck that up? I don't know. I think it's.
I wonder if they tested Dom and Davion.
No, I saw in their autopsy that they said they found like a brownish liquid in their stomachs, and they didn't test anything in it.
Interesting.
So
yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah. I do have a request, Landon. After you play this back for us, I want to hear. I always ask you this, but I want you to share a good memory of the friend group. I enjoy listening to you tell a memory.
Mm-hmm.
I would say one. I'll give y'all a new memory. How about that? I'll give y'all a new one y'all probably never heard. Might not be my favorite, but it'll just be my new favorite. All right. So there's this place called Hell.
Yeah.
Weird name. I don't know if y'all know about.
No, Kenzie brings it up in the text messages all the time.
Yeah, so she brought us that place. Her and Don brought us that place. It was wild. It was crazy. It's like,
what is that?
Like, so it's this thing like under a train track bridge. Like, you know how they have like the arches at the corners of bridges. We like went into the arch. We like went into there and stuff, and it was like a smoke spot, and we all smoked up there. And they like did graffiti up there a lot. Don and Kenzie did, and like a bunch of their friends would go up there and graffiti. It was actually really like dangerous on how to get there, so that's why it's like kind of like literally like the wrong step, you're falling like 30 feet, 40 feet. So, but it was a really fun time going out and going on one of those little like adventures with them. Because at that time in our life, being that young, we loved going out to like abandoned places or places that you're really not supposed to be, stuff like that. So it was very fun getting to experience that with them,
Mm-hmm.
It's given like, have you ever seen the movie Stand By Me?
Yeah.
It was giving like those type of vibes where like we're just like trekking through the woods, trekking through shit, It was amazing.
That's cute.
That is cute. Do you want to play the audio one more time?
Yep.
Also,
this is
the prosecutor.
Oh, what you say, something?
No, I was gonna say this is Rosie talking to the producer of Netflix to include the part where she did talk to the prosecutor, so that is now debunked and there's proof of it. Go ahead, Landon.
Also, with the prosecutor saying that he's like super interested in hearing what I'm saying, did you include that I spoke to him on the phone?
No, we didn't, because that was so much later, wasn't it? You spoke to him. That was right before the trial.
Well, there really wouldn't have been any other time for me to speak to him because it would have been the detectives instead of him up until the trial.
And a big part of why we didn't speak to detectives is what type of time the detectives were on in Paul's interview.
Yeah.
We didn't hear how Blair's interview went. We didn't hear how the Russo's interview. We didn't hear how these people's interview went. All we heard is how Paul's interview went.
Do you mind giving
him saying that he really wanted?
Huh?
Do you like once you're done with? Sorry, I thought you were done playing. But when you're done with that, can you give like the actual timeline of like when did she talk to the prosecutor?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me look. Let me see if I can find something. Hold on. I can't show the entirety of it because it has sensitive info on there. But let me see if I can find this.
Everyone in the chat's like justice for the.
So, all right, I got this right here. I'm not going to show the entirety of it. Right, it's like we need the medical document, but this is the phone records. This is what everybody wants to ask for that I have not sent out. We have Tim Troop's number highlighted once on June 9th and once on June 16th. It was June 16th was an incoming phone call at 12:13 p.m. for 53 minutes. The one on June 9th was at 1:34 p.m. and was for 30 minutes.
Wait, is that June
2023, I think.
Oh, 2023?
Yeah.
And then the Netflix documentary was made when?
This was of 2023, June of 2023. That was filmed, I think, somewhere in like damn near 2024, I'd say.
So
wow.
It was like 2 years ago. It came out this year, so it was like 2 years ago. It was just reaching about 2 years because they told us approximately. They told us approximately it was going to be 2 years of production time, and then so I would say it was like just under 2 years was how long we filmed from when it actually came out.
And so basically, the prosecutor was being interviewed in 2024 regarding whether or not he spoke to Rosie.
Yeah.
Basically said he never spoke to Rosie, but they did.
Yeah. And I'll finish up the video.
Talk to me. I did talk to him like
before the trial.
Yeah.
No, we were. I mean, I guess he's talking from the. It would be the detectives, and he would have.
He's saying there that the prosecutor's trying to talk from the detective's point of view of point of view, but no random Joe's going to know that. No random Joe watching this documentary is going to know that.
Exactly.
So they should have had a detective in there doing that scene.
Exactly.
The prosecutor.
Okay. Wanted to know.
Yeah.
What through them, what you were going to say.
Right.
Not be.
But actually,
I don't think he was making any calls himself.
I think we actually missed your explanation that you provided in that bit, Rosie, actually, because I think that is quite important. You to explain your hesitation speaking to the police at the days, because you can't. Let me just quickly find. Do you know what I'm talking about there?
Yeah.
They told us that it was like hesitation, that he was expressing hesitation, right? But when you actually watch that shit, that's not how he was expressing that.
No, not at all.
Yeah. People always say the police will try to say crazy things, especially if you're alone and you're a teenager. Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem like they're trying to figure out what happened in the accident. It seems like they were trying to track down the next drug dealers. Which I think is.
So it's crazy. It's like we had these premonitions, man. We knew what was going to be a problem. We knew what they lacked the context of her social media and this, and those are the two biggest things everybody's running wild about. Those are the two things that we had a problem with.
Because Troop in the documentary, remember, he's like, wow, I would have loved to talk to Rosie. But
I mean, if anyone wants to see the text messages between us in the documentary company where we talk about not wanting Rosie's social media in there, it's all over the news outlets of when Rosie broke her silence and posted on her TikTok story. So go find one of those news articles and you'll be able to see those text messages.
Hey, did you guys notice that TMZ had posted a new thing about Mackenzie, but still hasn't mentioned her appeals?
No one has really reported on it. I haven't seen Annie Elise. I haven't seen I haven't seen Nancy Grace. Those are
because they're reading what's inside of it, and
I know, right?
It ain't looking too good for the Russos.
Everyone's suddenly quiet about it.
I know, right? It's just wild.
Except us.
Let me go ahead and show this. Oh shit.
I don't know.
We'll go ahead and show this because why not?
Oh yes. Thank you for showing that.
Pictures of him. I got his numbers. Got pins that we would get for football. All sorts of stuff.
Thank you for showing us that.
Yeah.
Yeah, now they're trying to say that I stole it. How wild is that? How could I go into
What
a
the
high school and
heck?
steal a jersey?
That's wild.
I actually have the proof of from the checking account that $150 was taken out for that jersey. So, whoever wants to continue spreading that bullshit better think twice. But I guess that's it for me, really. I guess, yeah.
If people only remember one thing after this live, what would you want it to be?
Just give her a fair trial. If you give her a fair trial, I think that would not only would speak for the boys too in itself, like finding out the truth, finding out the whole narrative, the full story of what actually happened, not like some bullshit narrative they can come up with because the contents of her phone can align with it. Like, it's just a bunch of bullshit, and that's all I ask is just let it be fully investigated. Like, just let it be fully investigated. Actually, I actually just got a text message. I bought that jersey from my coach, my head coach. So don't bullshit me. So, but yeah, that's what I would want everybody to know is that just give it a fair trial. Like, there's so many. There's at least 2, maybe 3 different avenues that this case could go down that haven't been correctly investigated, and they need to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I'll say is that they need to be investigated before at least some people involved will ever feel comfort.
Yeah.
Everything's been under a microscope, but is there anything you feel that has never been asked that should be? Aside from obviously, what we think should be investigated.
Why? This is really a big question because it would debunk everything. It would stop all the bullshit, all the shenanigans. They kept 20 to 30 minutes of each camera angle at the end of progress. The 3 different camera angles where you see her car going by. If you go into the actual case files, there's about 20, 25, 26, 30 minutes of each one of those camera footages. Why is there only 3 minutes of her car turning on the Pearl? We'd be able to see every other car that followed behind her and turn on the Pearl. It'd be able to completely debunk these entire somebody drove past the accident. Somebody did this, somebody did that. So I don't know. I feel like that's something that people don't really point out and don't focus on, which is it should have just been 30 minutes worth of that footage too, to show who drove past, and who didn't see. There's a big fuming smoke coming from the damn car when they pulled up to that stop sign and blew the stop sign. I'm confused on why they didn't keep that footage in there. Are they trying to protect somebody? That's what my mind goes to, but I don't know.
Kalina, Rose, anything else you guys want to say before?
Yeah, stop listening to Christine because she's nothing but a liar. And stop listening to documentaries. They don't give the full story. If you want to know the details of what we are saying, download the case file and read the court documents for yourself. There's plenty of stuff on mine and Kalina's page that you can look at too. But go read the stuff yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And just to clear it up for the chat, Rose is not Rosie. So if anyone's confused,
I know.
you can follow
someone. I'm like, what a compliment, but no.
Wait, I have one more thing. You can find Rose Gold as Rose Gold Words on TikTok, Kalina as well on TikTok. I will link everything down below as well as Landon and Rosie's social medias. But Landon, one more thing, and I know this is going to sound crazy as hell.
Oh wait,
but
wait! I want Landon to say something.
Yes.
I want to say something really quick. I second what Rose said, but I hope everyone who just is dead set on her being guilty for 2 minutes, just think if it was you or your family. Just pretend that what if there was a medical emergency and if it was either you or your family, and then all of a sudden you get charged with murder and now you have to spend the rest of your life in jail. Put yourself in that position. Would you not want to have a fair trial? Would you not want people to fight for you and for the truth to be out there? That's what we're doing, and I just want people just think about that for a couple minutes, and that's all we're saying, that we need to get a fair trial. That's it.
Landon, and I agree, Kalina, absolutely. If it was you or a family member, right?
Mm-hmm.
Landon, nobody was cheating on anyone. Rosie, you, Kenzie, Don that night. That's gonna be the last thing I have to say.
No, all bunch of baloney.
All right.
Kenzie had her head in Dom's lap for like the majority of time she was sleeping. If he got up to use the bathroom, if he got up to see what they were doing in the back room, to hit somebody's vape, to go hit the bong, which I don't think he even hit the bong, but to do anything, no, there was no cheating. There was none of that shenanigans going on.
Okay. Well, thank you, Landon. As you guys can see, Landon is an open book and he's willing to answer questions. And this isn't the first time I talked to Landon, so he's always been great. And
anybody, they want more clarification on something. They want context. They want to know about something. Let me know. I'm happily glad to explain anything I need to.
Oh, and we're gonna do want to do a little video with Bubba. And I guess maybe all of us can do it, but to go over the Netflix documentary, like scene by scene, and have Bubba like kind of explain what was left out, what was, what may not be true, whatever. So stay tuned for that. We're going to definitely do that. And I don't know, maybe we'll post it on Melly's page or something like that, because I don't really do anything on YouTube, but
yeah, that would be good. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
To go through it with
happy birthday, Mackenzie. Everyone's saying it's her birthday in the comments. So
yeah.
Shout out to Mackenzie.
That is so sweet.
Yes.
Because guess what? My birthday's tomorrow.
So no way.
I'm a little like, I feel like a little special because I'm like, oh, Kenzie's birthday today.
Well, happy early birthday, girl. Yes, it is Mackenzie Shirley's birthday. Happy birthday to Mackenzie Shirley as well. Thank you all so much for coming up. You are always welcome here. We can do this again, whichever way we want. Landon, you are always welcome on any of my platforms. You know this. And I appreciate you for coming up here.
No problem.
And talking with me and being on my platform. Rose, Kalina, you guys are amazing. Everyone follow rose.gold.words on TikTok. Kalina's is this the same as your name, Kalina?
Yeah, it's just Kalina.
Kalina XO, and you can find Landon Turner on, is that what it is? Make sure. Yeah, Landon Turner 14 on TikTok and Rosie Graham on YouTube. So you guys can look into everything yourselves. The FOIAs are available per usual. We've all gone through it. Go check it out.
Everything we've said is in these fucking documents. Just go find it.
Yeah. Well, Landon, I would love to have you on again. All of you. It was so much fun.
I'm not opposed.
So. Okay. All right. Well, I'll see you guys later. Right. Thanks, everyone.
Good night, everybody. I don't know what time it is for everyone. Good night, everybody.
It's late. Yeah. Thank you, Landon. Thank you, Rose. Thank you, Kalina. There you have it. There it is. I think I answered or asked most of what I wanted to, but I will always continue to have more questions. Go support, regardless of what we think. You can go and watch the content. None of these people put out content, including myself, that isn't in the documents. So we will have more guests. I'm working on someone else right now. I appreciate everyone who's here supporting. I know there's a lot of bullshit. Don't delete my comment. Do delete my comment. You know what? I want to remain respectful to the people that are on my panel and take the time to come on here and give their side of the story, especially when I was someone, right, that didn't believe that she needed a fair trial. That doesn't mean that we have to be best friends with Mackenzie and like her, none of the sort. It means that everyone deserves a fair shot. And if that's her decision and it works out, she wants to go back to trial, that's her prerogative. Due process, right? As Chris Cuomo says. Like I said, follow the gals. Please go support. They do a lot of shorts and stuff like that. Kalina and Rose, they're great peoples, and Landon is as well. Thanks, everyone. This was good to talk about. Yes, exactly, Kalina. I'm trying getting interviews, as everyone mentioned. Yeah. People, you did a great job. Thank you. This was awesome. You're cute. We're all cute. We're all cute. She needs to copy. What is it? Not copyright, but make that her own. Rosie, I mean. Replays are going to go crazy on this one. Yeah, listen. Thank you, Jeff, and everyone who came over from the other platforms. We don't need a big pick sides. This isn't about us. No, it's about just she wants a fair trial and she gets it and she qualifies for that, then so be it. I know I have dealt with the justice system and I always would want it to be fair and right. That doesn't mean that we don't like Dom and Davian. That is nothing that was said here tonight. I think all of the people who are on panel have the utmost respect for them, and I have too. Trademark, thank you. Yeah, Rosie needs to trademark that shit real quick. But anyways, please leave your comments down below. Shout out to everyone in the live chat, everyone who supported Jules, Juvenated, super chats. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, exactly. You certainly don't like their families. Where did that come from? Like, where did that come from? That's not even, that's unfair to say. Unfair to say, because I have been nothing but respectful. And if you don't want to recognize the truth, that's not on me. That's on you. From the combo I just listened to. If that's what you got out of that, then that's sad. But that was in no way the intention. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. We will hopefully have a few more guests on here, maybe in the next week or so. So definitely keep your eyes out for that. Please make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you drop your comments. Make sure you do all of them things. I appreciate you guys for being here, and I'll see you on the next one.